March remains the only group to have applied for permission to march on the informal deadline. Joburg Metro Police says the preparations are underway and a meeting will determine whether the demonstration receives the green light. JMPD spokesperson Clement Manyathela.
So they'll be looking for the Section 205, the relevant stakeholders, which includes SAPS. It will be determined if the march is approved or not.
Authorities say they remain on high alert as the country approaches the controversial deadline. Monge Ziko Go, Eyewitness News.
In the Western Cape, Acting Police Minister Firoz Kachalia says security has been stepped up following recent violent protests where 2 Mozambican nationals were killed recently. The attacks happened in Mossel Bay. Violence also broke out in the Overberg region where hundreds of residents fled their homes in Clement and Gansbaai. Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
Acting Police Minister Firoz Kachalia says additional police resources will be deployed to identified hotspots across the province.
A lot of the protest action, as you say, has taken place in the rural areas. Police are ready across the province. There were about 4 areas in the rural areas that were identified.
Meanwhile, there's no indication of planned protests in Cape Town. However, the city's Safety and Security MMC JP Smith says authorities are monitoring threats circulating on social media relating to xenophobia and a proposed shutdown on 30 June. Ntutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
Parliament has adopted amended rules to give effect to Section 89 inquiries which subject presidents to impeachment. The expanded rules have been prompted by a constitutional court ruling last month that compelled Parliament to establish an impeachment committee before which President Cyril Ramaphosa must appear to answer allegations linked to the theft of US dollars from his farm. During debate in the National Assembly last night, several parties expressed their disappointment at Speaker Thoko Didiza's decision not to oppose Ramaphosa's attempts to interdict the impeachment proceedings in court. Lindsay Dentlinker reports.
The MK Party's Clement Manyathela has bemoaned the time it's taking to get an impeachment inquiry off the ground, with the committee due to sit today to discuss its terms of reference and decide on the appointment of evidence leaders.
Nearly 2 months later, there is still no timetable, no appearance date for Mr. Ramaphosa, and no engagement with the merits of the matter.
The ATM's Vuyo Zungula said he was disappointed in the Speaker's posture not to oppose the President's interdict application, which his party has chosen to do. He was backed up by the UAT's Wonderboy Mahlatse.
The handling of this process has reinforced the public perception that the Speaker of Parliament has chosen her political party over the Constitution.
Rise Mzansi's Makashule Ghana, who is also the chairperson of the impeachment committee, said it was untrue that no work was happening to get the inquiry off the ground. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
And the Zambian government says it's chosen to respect former President Edgar Lungu's family by not appealing a Supreme Court judgment in their legal dispute. The appeals court yesterday set aside a High Court judgment that had ordered for Lungu's remains to be repatriated to his home country for burial, but the Supreme Court found that the High Court erred in its conclusion. It's been more than a year since the Zambian former president died in South Africa. Khomotso Modise has more.
It's been more than a year of a legal tug-of-war between the family of former Zambian President Edgar Lungu and the country's government. But it seems yesterday's Supreme Court judgment has finally put the matter to bed. In a statement, the Zambian government confirmed that it wouldn't be appealing the Supreme Court judgment, claiming the year-long dispute was guided by a good-faith desire to uphold their established national customs. In the statement, the Attorney General says true statesmanship knows when to let go of legal contention to preserve national tranquility. This decision by the state means Lungu's remains will be handed back to the family for burial in South Africa. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $4,076.82 an ounce. The rand is at 16.56 to the dollar, 21.86 to the pound, 18.83 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $76.43 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the Makwa North between Boysons Road and Car Street. This is due to an accident. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South between Rivonia Road and Winnie Mandela Drive.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 20 and 21 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Thousands of migrants have already left South Africa ahead of protests against undocumented foreign nationals next Tuesday.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Visit primemediaplus.com to enter 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. Hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Walk with the people, for the people, for our Josie.
For Joburg, by Joburg, in Joburg.
Bamise bonke.
You're with Clement Manyathela
On 702.
Let's Walk the Talk, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app,
DSTV channel 856,
92.7 and 106 FM.
Minutes after 9 o'clock. Dumelang, good morning, goeiemorgen, bonjour, Komasava. Welcome to the Clement Manyathela Show. It's great to be in your company. Thanks for joining us once again here on 702. And if it's your first time with us, welcome. Our show starts with the 702 open line. You can call us or send us a WhatsApp voice note. The number to dial is 011-883-0702. WhatsApps on 072-702-1702. So, the ANC's Joburg leadership has now chosen its 3 mayoral candidates for the city. The ANC's 3 candidates are Dr. Loyiso Masuku, Jabu Muleketi, and Makhosazana Ndlela. Dr. Masuku is the deputy mayor of Johannesburg and the ANC's Greater Johannesburg regional chairperson, which actually makes her the first woman to ever hold that position. And she received about 24 of the Johannesburg ANC leadership's 28 votes. So she received 24 of those. The highest number among the nominees is that was received by Loyiso Masuku. Now, Jabu Muleketi, who is a former Deputy Minister of Finance and former Vodacom chair, received about 23 votes. And Makhosazana Ndlela, who is the Deputy Chief Whip of the ANC in the city of Johannesburg region, also received 23 votes. So the ANC's eventual candidate will face clearly a competitive field from other parties. The Democratic Alliance has put forward Helen Zille, the former mayor of Cape Town and the former Western Cape Premier. Bossa is represented by its deputy leader and MP, Nobantu Hlazo Webster, who was previously the party's Gauteng Premier candidate. Rise Mzansi has named Lukhona Mnguni, a former political analyst and a former Rivonia Circle policy head. Herman Mashaba is, of course, with Action SA. But I want to know, for you as a listener, what are your thoughts on these 3 candidates that the ANC has put forward? I personally have been looking forward to who the ANC is going to put up, because I was just interested to see, are they going to realize how high the stakes are? Because when you realize how high the stakes are, you poach. You literally go out of the organization if you don't have anyone, or you even take someone who's a minister that you think is popular or understands the issues and can do the job or can appeal to us as voters, and you put them there, because then that to me suggests you know that the stakes are high. So I want to know from you, if you think with these 3 candidates that I've mentioned, Dr. Loyiso Masuku, Jabu Muleketi, Makhosazana Ndlela, do you think these candidates, because one of them is going to emerge as mayor unless something dramatic completely happens where someone is brought in at last minute. I don't know under what circumstances that would happen, but as things stand, out of these 3 candidates, one of them is going to be the mayoral candidate for the ANC in the city of Johannesburg. And my question is, do you think that these candidates are strong enough Any of them. Are they strong enough candidates to take on the two main popular candidates in Herman Mashaba and Helen Zille? Because whether you want to deny it or not, those are the two that are currently leading, you would say, in popularity and maybe even in campaigning. Helen started a while back. Herman Mashaba has since kicked off his campaign as well, and it's been full steam. Do you think that these candidates from the ANC are strong enough to take on these guys? But also, broadly, I want to know who you are gravitating towards out of the candidates already announced. Like Bossa has its deputy president, Rise Mzansi has Lukona. Who are you gravitating towards with the candidates that are already announced? Because my friends and I are already talking about who we are voting for, and we're already debating our choices, trying to galvanize each other. Have you made up your mind? Let me know on 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702. I was actually reminded of the conversation I had with Mahlengi Bengu, who is the spokesperson for the ANC, as I was thinking about how seriously does the ANC take the high stakes in the city of Joburg. And I remembered Mahlengi came on this show and told you, South Africans, that you are happy with the service delivery in the city of Johannesburg. Do you remember when we spoke to her?
Well, I do believe that I think the ANC, as the organization, does believe that, Dada has acquitted himself quite well, in particularly, as part of the local government intervention. You would have seen that some of the work that he's been doing in terms of what we call high impact service delivery work that he's been doing. And I think there are so many people that walk around the streets of Johannesburg and they say, well, we haven't seen a Joburg such as this one.
What? Wait, Madeleine. Are you saying there are people who what? Are you saying people are really impressed with the service delivery in Joburg and they walk around and they say, I've never seen a Johannesburg like this?
Yeah, no, I think there are several people actually.
Okay.
I don't know why you would find this funny.
No, I wasn't funny. I was just wanting to make sure, because I guess my experience is when I take calls on the show, it's very seldom that I'll hear like someone who's from the city of Johannesburg say, oh my God, I've never seen a city like this. I think there's been so many complaints, which then brings me to this point, Mahlengi, that if Dada Morero has been so amazing at his job, why did the president then express such disappointment late last year when he visited this province? Because he wasn't happy about the poor state of the city when he came over here. He cited service delivery failures. He cited crumbling infrastructure. He said financial mismanagement was a big problem.
Well, the president expressed what the president expressed at the time when he did. And I think fast forward later on, he basically said, actually affirmed Dada Morero's leadership.
Okay, so that's what Mahlengi Bengu told us. I just thought I should remind you of that. Yeah, it was just something else. So that's what happened when we had Mahlengi Bengu on the show, talking about how great Dada Morero is at his job in the city of Johannesburg. So give me a call and let me know if you think these candidates from the ANC, one, are strong enough to go against some of the popular candidates in the city, but also who are you gravitating towards? Have you made up your mind? Are you still discussing with your friends, your family? Also, what I want us to talk about as well on the open line is what happened with Bafana Bafana. And I know this has been doing the rounds, but I didn't really take it as seriously until I actually saw how the Star newspaper is reporting on this. So, we've got a do or die clash as Bafana Bafana because we are searching for some kind of a win. We want to save this tournament when we face South Korea tomorrow morning in the final Group A match. So the first question I want to ask is, will you be waking up early to catch that 3 a.m. kickoff? Will you be part of maybe a watch party? I don't know if you've heard, but Early Breakfast host Africa Malani will be hosting a watch party, starting his show an hour earlier for full coverage of that game. So if you want to join that watch party, make sure you tune into 702. But speaking of Bafana, here's the story I was talking about that the Star newspaper is reporting on. There's a U.S. fashion content creator who shared their experience of meeting the team at a Louis Vuitton store in Atlanta. So this content creator met Bafana players. There were several members of the squad who were spotted at a Louis Vuitton store inside Atlanta's Lenox Square Mall and other luxury shops. And this comes just days after a group of the players went viral for exploring Atlanta's famous Icebox diamonds and watches store during their World Cup journey. And I want to know genuinely what you make of that. Like, do you think the players should be allowed? Because they do get given some downtime to rest. Like some downtime to also spend as they please. Or do you think that because we are in a high pressure period and we need to be performing, do you think that then they should be more focused on their World Cup prospects and not go around shopping? Listen to how the Star newspaper on their front page reported the story, and I think this sentiment is shared by many South Africans. I mean, listen to this first line of the article. It says, while millions of South Africans are burning impepo, clutching prayer beads, lobolaing the ancestors, and refreshing their phones for World Cup score updates, Bafana have been busy doing some serious damage in Atlanta's luxury malls. So the impression being created here is, oh, they shouldn't be going around shopping because so many of us are under pressure. We are praying, we're burning in Bepo, we're trying to wish them well because they haven't really performed optimally, if we're being honest. Yes, they've improved with the Czech Republic, but that Mexico game was just outrageous. So there are some South Africans who feel, no, you have no business going around shopping. What are you doing? Just stick around and just work on honing your skills. But I was thinking, this is probably important also for their mental fortitude, because if you've got players in such a high-stress situations, you don't want to let them just focus on work. You need to give them some downtime. And I think it's a little unfair to be expecting them to be stuck in their hotel rooms, even on their downtime days, and not to explore the city. I think that helps in keeping them sane, I think. What do you think? 011-883-0702. At 10 o'clock, we'll speak to the MMC for Transport in the city of Johannesburg, Kenny Kunene, about the decision by the city of Johannesburg to suspend all fuel supply to its Johannesburg Roads Agency fleet until further notice. What this means is that the teams that are responsible for maintaining the city's road network are effectively grounded, which means potholes will be left unfilled, traffic lights will be left unreported, stormwater drains will be left uncleared across the metro. That's what the MMC said. So essential services have essentially been paralyzed, and the MMC released a statement calling for you to be more patient and understand that something else is going on, and sending his apologies. So he's going to come at 10 o'clock and explain what on earth is going on there. At 10:30, we're in conversation with Standard Bank about their involvement in the rejuvenation of Johannesburg's inner city. As you know, the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk is about more than getting your steps in, right? It's a celebration of community, of connection, and the ongoing revival of Johannesburg's inner city. And Standard Bank is one of the key city champion partners behind that vision. At 11, we do our Listener's Choice feature, and today we're trying to find out why visas are so expensive for South Africans traveling abroad. And then we wrap up the show at 11:30 with the sharing space. That's the show coming up over the next 3 hours.
Clement Manyathela. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Paul, you're calling us from Rustenburg. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. I hope you're doing well.
Sure. Go ahead.
Wonderful. You know, as I was having a chat with your producer, I think caught you at the tail end of that Mabengi, clip that you played, and I was saying to your producer, interestingly enough, local government politics have long left the popularity contest. And I even said to your producer, you'd remember that at some point, Congress of the People fielded Reverend Vumedandala. And the idea was that you need to have a candidate that appears to be forthright, that blends well with the people, that relates to the populace. And I can tell you now, over the last two cycles, particularly at local government level, things have drastically changed. When you talk to communities, people want real services. Whether it's me as Paul or U.S. Clement as the mayor, it's neither here nor there. I mean, to the point that you were touching at the end of the clip that you played, you guys hosted G20. And I remember there was a fanfare, a furore of, Joburg being cleaned up and down, all of this and that. Literally 2 days thereafter, Joburg had gone back to the state that we are used to, uncollected heaps of rubbish, potholes, and all of these things. And I can tell you now, the ANC can field whoever they want to field as a potential mayoral candidate. But people on the ground have, for the longest of times, borne the brunt of poor service delivery. So it's no longer about your poster girl or your poster boy. It's about what is it that you represent? What is that organization that you're claiming to be standing for? What have they done to try and improve, the challenges of people on the ground? I mean, top of mind, I can tell you now, one of the big issues in Joburg is the billing crisis, which to this day remains unresolved. So if you are still talking about who's going to be mayor when the rudimentary or fundamental issues are still boggling those that are leading, then I can tell you we are still going to be in the same cycle of this party or that other party. But I can tell you as I conclude that right now, the local government system in this country has sort of mirrored what has been happening at national level. So whether you are going to tell us about 32 years of freedom or what, we are done, we are fine. People must be elected on merit. They must have a track record, and they must have a
record. Yeah, look, I think you've got a fair point, Paul. I mean, there's a level of it that depends on the political party itself and what it's been able to do, especially if it's a party that's governed or been involved in governance. But I do think that there's an advantage in bringing in someone who is seen perhaps to be popular. For instance, take Action SA. Like, do you think if Action SA put up, let's say, is it Funzi? Funzi, who was the MMC? Is he still MMC? I'm not sure. I don't think he's still. Ngubane. Is he still MMC? He's not, right? Yeah, but he is in the council, I think. Or was. But imagine, I think was he not the leader of Gauteng Action SA or Johannesburg? But my point is, imagine they put him up. Is he as popular as Herman Mashaba? Sure, you've got people who will say, yeah, but we need a party with a track record. But Herman Mashaba, when he was mayor of Johannesburg and impressed some Joburg residents, he was not with Action SA. He was actually with the Democratic Alliance. But there are some people who actually supported Herman Mashaba. That's why his party has somehow gotten and galvanized votes. Enough votes to be taken seriously as a political party. Why? Because of the popularity of the man and what he was able to do. So I do think that it matters when you put him up as mayor of Johannesburg candidate and not like somebody else who may be less popular. You want to ride his popularity. You want to ride his track record, especially for the people who were impressed with his work. But I do partly agree with you that at the end of the day, you can be as amazing and as popular, but if your organization has fundamentally failed, I mean, ANC could bring out Jesus Christ if they want. But if the governance under their leadership has been outrageous, then they might as well forget it. Thank you for that call, Paul, in Rustenburg. It's 27 minutes now after 9 o'clock. Sabelo, Elizabeth, Charlotte, I'll come to you after the break.
Your boss noticed. Your ex noticed. The neighbors definitely noticed. Because some cars say, I rented a car. And some cars say, I rented the car. Sani Sixt Rent a Car. Premium rentals. For people who don't settle. Choose the right car. Rent Sani Sixt on sani.co.za.
Whether it is a CCMA referral, problems with a mechanic, unfair blacklisting, or an uncontested divorce, Clientele Legal offers professional legal services to all South Africans. Our plans are affordable, and you receive up to 745,000 Rand worth of legal services per year. We cover civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Our nationwide legal teams are standing by to support you 24 hours a day. Plus, all plans include a 5,000 Rand bail benefit. Join today. SMS LEGAL to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Brush, stroke, paint, color, protect, and admire. From roof paint to exterior textures and interior silk, Warrior Paints has it all. The product range and stylish colors are amazing. And what's more, Warrior Paints has crushed prices for incredible savings. Enjoy that good old-fashioned personal service you deserve. For price, quality, variety, and service, Warrior Paints is streets ahead. Warrior Paints. Affordable, lasting luxury.
It's your last chance to enter the Nedbank Business Ignite on 702. It's closing entries soon. And this year, we're celebrating entrepreneurs who've turned personal challenges into businesses that make a real difference. Catch 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa every morning to meet the finalists and hear their inspiring stories. Go to igniteyourbusiness.co.za or primemediaplus.com to enter. You could win 200,000 Rand and the recognition your business deserves. T's and C's apply. See money differently. Nedbank, an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
On 702.
29 minutes after 9 o'clock. Elizabeth, you're calling us from Four Ways. What do you want to say about Bafana?
Hey Clement, yeah, I wanted to say that they also deserve a break. You know, we're always talking about work-life balance, psychological safety, and why do we think it's different for them? Because they're also on their job. They also need a break sometimes, and there's absolutely nothing wrong to be spotted shopping in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Thank you, Clement.
Yeah, and I know we've got some former soccer players who listen to the show sometimes. Please, can you give me a call and let me know how beneficial that downtime is for you as a player when you're in this high-pressure moment where you're expected to perform and to win, and you're struggling, and when you go shopping, does it help you? 'Cause I know as a runner, you know, when we do comrades, my coach always says, make sure you've got food for the soul. So at 30 Ks, I want to have some ice lolly, I want to have ice cream, or maybe I want to have malva pudding at 75 kilometers around poly shorts or after poly shorts, because that feeds my soul. So someone could be looking at me and thinking, why is he doing that while he's running? He's not even done. But that's me trying to prepare myself mentally and strengthening myself mentally. And I suppose even with the teams, what's wrong with them going out while they're on this tournament to have a downtime? And maybe the problem is that they haven't performed as optimally as we would have loved them to. And that's why some South Africans are feeling you have no business going shopping until you've mastered your craft, honed it, and get ready for South Korea and win that. Otherwise, what are you doing? What do you think? Do you think we're being unfair here? Do you understand where they're coming from? Give me a call or send a WhatsApp voice note. It's 9:31. Svisa, good morning.
Thanks, Clemens. Good morning. Thousands of migrants have already left South Africa ahead of protests against undocumented foreign nationals next Tuesday. The Border Management Authority says more than 9,000 Malawans and 3,000 Zimbabweans have been repatriated through the Beitbridge border post over the past 5 days, and another 900 Ghanaians and 300 Nigerians left through OR Tambo International Airport. Public Works and Infrastructure Minister Dean McPherson says the disparaging remarks he made about Action SA members are none of Parliament's business. He says this is one of the reasons he's taken the Joint Ethics Committee to court. The committee found him guilty of making derogatory remarks when he called Action SA members amapara, a word that's usually used to describe drug addicts or people involved in societal ills. And YouTube has reached a confidential settlement with a 15-year-old American who accused the Google-owned platform and other social media networks of harming his mental health 3 months after an unprecedented verdict in a similar case. Google has confirmed the deal, saying the company had built YouTube responsibility for more than a decade and that its focus remains on building age-appropriate products and parental controls. And those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 10 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
While travelling in Boksburg, we still have got delays on the N17 West. This is between Rondebolt Road and Osborne Road. I'm seeing an accident along this route. There's also roadworks taking place here, so please be on the lookout there, or try to use the N12 West into the Kirulis interchange. If you're heading towards the Joburg CBD, delays on the M2 West between Harderbeck Road and the Crown interchange. There's also queuing traffic on the M1 North between Boysons Road and the double-decker section due to an accident there. Traveling in the city of Tshwane, we've got some issues being reported on the R21 North approaching the Flying Saucer interchange, and that's due to roadworks. Please be on the lookout there. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
9:33. This is the 702 open line. I've been asking you about the city of Johannesburg. The ANC has now has its 3 mayoral candidates for the city. Well, that's the Johannesburg leadership of the ANC that's decided on these 3 names: Dr. Loyiso Masuku, Jabu Muleketi, and Makhosazana Ndlela. And I'm asking you if you think they're strong enough to go against the candidates from other parties that are already campaigning. You have Rise Mzansi and Bossa have put up their candidates. You know, Action SA has Hemen, the DA has Helen. How strong are these candidates to go against, especially the 2 popular candidates who started their campaign before everyone else? Let me know your thoughts on that. But also Bafana, some South Africans unhappy about them going shopping to these luxury stores in Atlanta while they were given some downtime. And the argument here is they haven't performed optimally. So what they should be doing is grinding 24/7, basically. And I'm saying that's a little unfair, because even, players that haven't performed well deserve some time to just come down, and prepare mentally for the next opportunity, which is for us tomorrow morning at 3 a.m. Charlotte, what do you want to say about that issue of Bafana? Good morning.
Morning, Clement. I feel like sometimes as people we can be hypocrites, because the things that other people in South Africa expect from Bafana is not what they practice in their own lives. For example, if I get an opportunity to go abroad, even if it's for work, I will definitely take the opportunity to explore the food, to explore the culture, because I don't even know when is the next time I'll get the opportunity to go there. Some of those players have never been to the USA or to Atlanta for that matter. So I think if they are not working at that time, like you're saying, it's downtime, like it's their breaks, it's their own time. Yeah. They have the right to do with that whatever that they want.
Absolutely. Charlotte, in Midrand, thank you for your call. Let's go to your WhatsApps on 0727021702.
Good day, Clement. How are you? It's Bongani from Rodiport. I want to say that Jabu Mleketi is a solid man, very, very good, very quiet, is not pompous, is extremely intelligent. I've worked with the man at GSSC in Joburg, so he knows Joburg like the back of his hand. So I am vouching for him. Thank you kindly.
Morning, Clemza. About the mayoral candidate for Johannesburg, it is very, very clear. We, as a citizen of South Africa who are living in Joburg currently, we know who is a potential member. Hemen Mashaba. That's very, very clear. Thank you.
Hi, Clement. You know what? The ANC can put whoever they want to put. We want them out. We've had enough of the ANC. They can put whoever they want to put, because from the three lists, I don't see anybody who's suitable. For me, Action SA would do. But ANC, no thank you. We are heartful. Let us give other people a chance. Like basho ukuthi asipha abanye abantwana a chance. Asidlaleni kahle nabanye abantwana. Let's give other kids a chance. The ANC needs to get out.
Morning, Madimija. Madimija, as a voter in Joburg, yes, I understand your question regarding the ANC fielded candidates and all that. But as a voter, here's one thing that I'm very clear of. I know who am I not going to vote. My question is, of the other candidates, which one am I going to vote? I mean, it's just, it's been more than 30 years. I've given this ANC Palukas more than 30 years to govern. What did they do? They just, messed up the city. So I don't care who they field. Even if they can field Ramaphosa himself, they are all useless and thieves. So, somebody else I'm going to vote for, but not the ANC, period.
Hi, Clement. Joburg is the powerhouse of the South African economy. So what people must realize is that if Joburg works, then they'll have a better life. So who's gonna deliver the services, and who's got a proven track record of that? And that's the kind of question people must ask. Surely everybody wants a better life, I suppose.
Look, as I said earlier, for me, I've always been interested in which parties, especially the big parties, like, the DA, the ANC, like, who are they going to put up as their mayoral candidates? Because that, for me, speaks to how seriously that organization understands the stakes and how high they are. And that's not to say that, like that listener from Rustenburg said, some parties, you can be the best popular candidate, but if you come from a party that doesn't deliver or is seemingly failing, what's the point? People still remember the track record of that organization. But my argument is that I think it does still matter who is the mayoral candidate. Yes, partly you do consider the track record of an organization, but also you do consider the candidate. You may very well not necessarily be unhappy with the ANC's tenure. You've seen some successes and what they've been able to do in the city, but maybe you don't think that Amorero is the right one, or you don't think Loyiso or Jabu Muleketi or whoever, you don't think that is the right person to govern, because we also know when you have incompetent people running these metros, that does, in fact, affect how that metro is run, because the buck stops with them. They are the leaders. And I'm saying it matters who the people are who get put in those positions. It's 20 minutes before 10 o'clock. More of your calls after the break.
What's so exciting for me about this year's event is that we're going back to a place I know so well. I just haven't been there for so long. I'm so excited about going to that precinct around the CBD, the life, the people, the history that is there. All of that is what makes me so excited about this year's Walk the Talk. You should take part in this year's Walk the Talk because it's a coming together of the 702 family of a community. If you like that feeling of being part of something, of watching your children being a part of something bigger than you. That's what the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk is all about. This year I'm going to walk the full 15 Ks. I want to see as much of the inner city of Joburg as I can. I want to walk it in a way I've never walked it before, and that's important for me. To enter 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, go to primemediaplus.com. It's very simple. We'll see you there. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. We're going to have a great time.
As the foot of Table Mountain, life moves a little differently. Just minutes from the Cape Town city centre, the Vineyard Hotel feels a world away, surrounded by gardens, trees, and a slower rhythm of life. Whether you are escaping for a few days or extending a business trip, it's a place to step out of the rush and slow down. So this winter, take a breather at the Vineyard, stay for 2 nights, and enjoy their winter offer. Find out more at vineyard.co.za. ecn.co.za.
Your neighbor's geyser burst. Now they're arguing about what's technically covered. Turns out it was the geyser, not the damaged ceiling. When yours burst, you called Suntom's 24/7 emergency line and a plumber was on the way. No debates. You insured nice, not twice. Get free home emergency services with your building cover online or call 0860 444 444 to get a quote. Suntom, this is freedom. Suntom is an authorized FSP, a licensed non-life insurer and a controlling company for its group companies.
Mzansi, the excitement is building. The 130th running of the Hollywood Bets Durban July takes place on Saturday, 4 July. This year's theme, Country Allure, draws from the richness of our land, a celebration of heritage, freedom and style, inspired by our beautiful countryside. It's more than a race. It's where champions are made, stories are written, and greatness is unleashed. World-class horse racing, bold fashion, music, culture, and a day of endless excitement at Hollywood Bets Greyville Racecourse. Get your tickets now at Ticket Pro and release your glamour at the Hollywood Bets Durban July, Africa's greatest horse racing and social event.
FNB Private has just been named South Africa's best private bank at the prestigious Euromoney Global Private Banking Awards 2026. And to unpack what that means, 702 is in conversation with FNB Private for a 3-part series exploring the ideas, values, and strategies behind one of banking's highest honors. Each week, John Perlman goes deeper into the award itself, sustainability and investment, with experts driving FNB Private's vision forward. Catch 702 in conversation with FNB Private every Thursday on Afternoon Drive with John Perlman. FNB Private, your long-term wealth partner.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
It's 15 minutes before 10 o'clock. Let's go to Kaugelo first, who's calling us from Davidton. Kaugelo, hi.
Yes, hi, Clement.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm going to contradict you quite significantly. Sure. I don't agree with the idea of a mayoral contest, particularly in the Gauteng metros, or even anywhere, because no mayor is really on the ballot. Nobody is voting for a mayor. We are all voting for parties, and the parties themselves, they choose mayor. We will end up in Gauteng in particular with a trade-off between the 3 main metros. Ekurhuleni will go to Party X because then they support Party Y in Johannesburg or Tshwane and so on and so forth. We will end up with a Nasi Moya situation, a 5% party leader ending up becoming a mayoral candidate ahead of a 40% party leader. So the truth of it is, voters aren't picking mayors. Parties eventually, especially in our political dynamics, choose mayors. If I may just add this lastly, which I hope we can get onto as we get closer to the election, we need a more concerted effort to have debates, contestations, and engagement on your platform with councillors. You call this town halls, party leaders from national come and debate, and they get skewed. We speak more to the bigger parties, and we really don't get to know the councillors, who are the people who we have a direct vote on, who are the people who should be profiling and engaging more.
But how many do you do, Kaugelo? I mean, that's also not practical. Like, there are thousands of them, so how do you bring them up?
Pick 4, because the town halls that you guys do are often just a rowdy, noisy mess. We over-concentrate the questioning to the ANC because they are the party in charge. Everybody asks them too many questions. They end up taking the air in the room and they occupy the platform.
What is wrong with that? So, because you're suggesting that we must then control what the residents, wherever we do the town hall, want to raise. So if I'm in Mabopane and the people in Mabopane who are in the audience, whom we have not chosen, they came randomly, if they've got questions more to Action SA or the ANC, that's their business. You are just creating a platform.
Clement, let me give you this quickly. In 2016, the metros around the country were largely decided on national issues, which were mainly against a bigger sentiment against Jacob Zuma. So the Get Zuma Out sentiment really pushed the metros into the hands of the opposition parties. What that effectively did was that it took a national issue and made it spearhead local elections. when we came to the national ticket the next time around and we were contesting national elections, you still get people coming to a national election discussion raising issues about water or things that are really local election things. So how our coverage and our engagement in the issues through every contest has been run, to me, it has lacked a bit of a zeroed-in focus about what the contest is. So I think even if you pick 2 wards, you don't need to pick 8, 9, or pick 2 wards, get us in there, get us testing the actual quality of the candidates who we actually, as voters, directly deal with. Very few of us will actually ever really deal with the mayor, and highlighting this contest and making it an issue when it really isn't even us choosing them.
Yeah.
They'll be chosen between themselves.
The challenge is, in
fact, I think we need a balance.
The challenge is, even when we go, when we go to these places, because we normally go, like if we're going to do a town hall in Mabopane, we're going to go there before we actually go for the town hall as part of preparations. And what you hear from the residents is they want to hear from the parties we often invite. That's it. And I get what you're trying to say about bringing the people that they interface with. I'm saying if in Joburg people want specific parties and leaders because they want to question them when we go for preparation, why should I say, okay, we're not going to have Rise Mzansi and we're going to have some person that nobody mentioned because they are from Ward 13, and in the audience there's not even anybody from Ward 13. So the point I'm making is, in our town halls, and we're going to do a lot of them this year like we always do on this station ahead of elections, we're going to do a lot of them. And what drives our content and how we shape those town halls is very much informed by the people on the ground where we're doing the town halls. And they tell us, who do you want to hear from? And maybe what I'll do is also ask listeners on air ahead of those town halls who they would like to hear from. I just want to avoid a situation where I'm picking up someone that nobody knows from Ward 3. But in the crowd, there's nobody from Ward 3 who wants to even ask any questions, because unfortunately, and maybe this is unfortunate, the focus, as you say, is still on the big parties, and we're not really focusing on the people we interface with at a lower level. Thank you for your call, though, Gaurelo in Davidton. It's 11 minutes before 10.
John, where are you rushing to?
Sure, I'm off to SARS. I need to check if I must file.
Wait! SARS sends auto-assessment notices from 1 to 12 July.
Done. Just like that?
Yes. If you get a notice of assessment, check it. If it's correct, you're done. If it's incorrect or you did not receive one, file from 13 July on e-filing or the SARS Mobi app.
I could already be done.
This filing season, experience the power of done. Expect your auto-assessment notice from 1 to 12 July or file from 13 July via e-filing or the SARS Mobi app. Go to sars.gov.za. SARS, at your service.
Every great business starts with a problem, one you may have experienced yourself. Nedbank Business Ignite 2026 is looking for entrepreneurs who've turned that pain into purpose and build solutions that truly make a difference. If your business is generating between 1 million rand and 20 million rand, you could get the funding, mentorship, and support you need to grow with Nedbank as your partner. Plus, access to Simply Biz to help you scale sustainably. So, if you're solving real problems and ready to take your business further, visit igniteyourbusiness.co.za or primemediaplus.com and enter today.
This winter is a cold one, Mzansi. Keep the heat in and the cold out with Cash Build. Save on electricity and keep your home warm with our top quality ceiling insulation. Plus, upgrade to our energy efficient geysers and geyser blankets to keep your water hot for longer. Don't turn into an ice block this winter. Visit your nearest Cash Build store for quality insulation and energy efficient geysers. Cash Build.
On Sunday, 26 July, the entire city unites for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk.
Walk the talk.
And because Joburg is more than just a city, we'll be walking for the people. So join us and help make a difference to homelessness in the city by entering on primemediaplus.com and donating vouchers.
Donate a voucher.
Which is a cashless way to give, helping people experiencing homelessness access a hot shower, a meal, a bed, or more support. Anybody can join and everybody can donate. 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Enter and donate now on primemediaplus.com.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
8 minutes before 10 o'clock.
Morning, Clem. Good to hear you on the radio, man. It's always a heartbreak when you're not there. I mean, the guys do well, but we've fallen in love with the hosts. Great job as always. No, man. 3 o'clock. I'm gonna wake up. Look, if we're gonna go by history, the boys might not make it. Chances are they might. We're failing to score in open play, but if they do make history, I want to be there. I want to watch it. I want to feel the excitement in real time. So obviously, as a South African, I'll always remain hopeful of the boys. So yeah, waking up to support the boys. Just hope they catch a wake up.
Let's hope they wake up. Let's hope they're not tired from their shopping. Yeah, I think I'm going to wake up as well. The plan is to sleep early tonight. I want to wake up and watch because there's something just about watching it in real time and, yeah, praying and, holding the fort for them. So that's what I plan to do as well.
Good morning, Clement. Regarding Bafana doing shopping, where they found them doing shopping, it happened, Kama Boko Boko, you remember? When Bo Elizabeth, but they were just walking, or I think it was more the Eiffel Tower, when they met our supporters singing and they were dancing and they joined them. Yes, the players are being given an opportunity to walk around, So it happened on the Springboks. So I don't think it's bad for Bafana, unless if something else. But before our final, I remember it happens. Kama Boko Boko. They really walk around doing some shopping and engaging with some fans on the street. Thank you very much.
Hello, Clement. It's Selma from Roodepoort. If you or somebody else was sent by their employer overseas and you didn't have to pay for staying there or anything, wouldn't you also go and explore the countryside? I mean, everybody does that. You go and see what the place looks like because you might not get another chance in your life. So what's wrong with Bafana doing that? Oh, please, people. Stop always criticizing everything in life. Get a life. Thanks for the lovely show. Bye.
Selma, thank you for the WhatsApp. Yeah, I get you. I agree with you. I do think it's a bit unfair of us to expect them to just be stuck in their hotels. But I also do understand the other side that says, well, I think you must use every moment you have to grind and get ready for the next match because you haven't really, performed as optimally as we would have loved you to. Yeah, but let the people also have some fun, man. It's 5 minutes before 10 o'clock.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Good morning, Clement. My name is Angel Mkwanazi. I am from Guatemala on Springs. I have actually decided who I'm going to vote for. I have decided it's been a long time now, and I just can't wait to make that vote.
Clement, you're making a point I was discussing with someone the other day, that for them to remain relevant and them as ANC, they'll probably need to widen the net, even go to people who are in corporate, right, who really maybe still support them and who have a good reputation, to your point, good following, good support. Hey, Clement, even Rassi Rasmus, man, could even fetch that guy. If I was a political strategist, I would advise the ANC, fetch that guy. Let's support him. Let him do the job. He's written a book. He has some ideas about leadership and, going for tough things, changing things around. So why not? And then on the question of who am I leaning to, Clement? Hey, look, I think Hammond for me, because I'm in the, let's manage illegal immigration camp. So I know Hammond will do that. Thanks. Sharp, Clement.
Yeah, thank you for that. So Rassi Erasmus, but does he actually understand the beast that is the city of Johannesburg? Bazima Shilowa tweeted this morning and says, Clement, I'm not sure what is meant by popular in respect of Herman Mashaba and Helen Zille, but I have no doubt that Jabu Moleketi, if he's available, can take it. He knows better than both what can be done in Joburg, having been the GPG MEC when most of the city rejuvenations were taking place. So that's what Mazima Shilowa says. So to that point about, does the person really understand the beast that is the city of Johannesburg? Do they understand the challenges that the city of Johannesburg is facing? Christopher, you are in Observatory. What are your thoughts? Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. How are you doing?
Sure, man. Go ahead.
So I just wanted to comment regarding the mayoral, well, essentially the political system. I think that your question actually raises a bigger question that South Africans need to actually address. And this is an argument that we've been having in and amongst our friend group since we were at university. And it's that the South African political system may not, or let me say electoral system rather, may not necessarily be the best system for what we're trying to achieve anymore. And the reason I say this is also as somebody who's active in politics and so on, that, and one of the callers had mentioned it, but as you vote, essentially we vote for the party. And if you take the ANC, for example, even as an ANC member, you don't vote for the president himself. There are about 4,000 or so delegates who go in president. So you essentially vote for policies. You don't vote for individuals. And so even if you bring it down to the context of regional politics, so here we have people are talking about comparing people like Dada and certain other candidates. Even in that context, when you cast your vote, you're not voting for the individual. So I could, for instance, and I'm not saying this is the case, but I could, for instance, think that Herman Mashaba is the best candidate, but I may not agree with the policies that are of his party.
Got you. And then that affects how you vote. Got it. Christopher in Observatory, thank you. It's a minute before 10.
If you think you cannot afford a lawyer, think again. Clientele Legal has made professional legal services affordable. You receive up to 745,000 rand worth of legal services per year. Our range of plans include cover for you, your spouse, children, and extended family. Plans include cover for civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Whether it's protection orders, gender-based violence, uncontested divorce, or poor service, your Clientele Legal lawyer will be there to assist you. Our services are convenient. Simply pick up the phone and call your lawyer or send us an email and we'll get back to you. All plans include a bail benefit of up to 5,000 rand and we'll go to the police station and pay it for you. Plus, Clientele Legal offers you 24-hour telephonic legal advice. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
I'm a millionaire, and yes, I am a millionaire. Cascading. What does it mean? So when I say cascading jackpots, I mean that on the last draw of every month, if there's no one in South Africa that wins with 6 numbers, we go looking for a winner with 5 numbers. And if no one wins with 5 numbers, we go looking for a winner with 4 numbers, and so on and so forth and nice. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sizekai.
Kaelo Lifestyle, a mental wellness and support program for employees and their families, is calling on you to take a step towards better mental health. As the mental wellness partner of 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, Kaelo is bringing even more purpose to the walk. From checking in with yourself to celebrating connection, every step is designed to support your well-being. So rally your team and walk for mental wellness. Visit primemediaplus.com for more information. Kaelo Lifestyle, changing lives and improving business. On 702, let's walk the talk. This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The SAPS has approached the private security industry to bolster operations ahead of next Tuesday's protests against undocumented foreign nationals. Acting Police Minister Firoz Kachalia is this morning meeting with heads of the sector to map out plans on how they will work together. Some of the organizations that have been approached include Bidvest, Protea Coin, Fidelity Services Group and G4S, among others. A media briefing is expected to be held shortly on the latest updates. Meanwhile, thousands of migrants have already left South Africa ahead of the demonstrations. The Border Management Authority says more than 9,000 Malawans and 3,000 Zimbabweans have been repatriated through the Beitbridge border post over the past 5 days. Another 900 Ghanaians and 300 Nigerians left through the OR Tambo International Airport. Mongezi Koko reports.
In KZN, thousands more are still waiting to be repatriated. Premier Tami Nduli says around 7,000 Malawans remain in Durban, with a further 900 in Pietermaritzburg waiting to go to their home country.
They may be coming from other parts of the country, which is also unfortunate because we also believe that they may have means of transporting themselves back home.
Meanwhile, in Joburg, civic organisation March and March remains the only group to have applied for permission to march on the informal deadline. Joburg Metro Police says the preparations are underway and a meeting will determine whether the demonstration receives the green light. JMPD spokesperson Xolani Fihla.
They'll be looking for the Section 205, the relevant stakeholders, which includes SAPS. It will be determined if the march is approved or not.
Authorities say they remain on high alert as the country approaches the controversial deadline. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News.
Public Works and Infrastructure Minister Dean McPherson says the disparaging remarks he made about Action SA members are none of Parliament's business. He says this is one of the reasons he's taken the Joint Ethics Committee to court after it found him guilty of making derogatory remarks when he called the Action SA members amapara, a word that's usually used to describe drug addicts or people involved in societal ills. McPherson says Parliament has no right to police the speech of MPs outside of the parliamentary precinct. Babalo Ndenza reports.
Dean McPherson argues that the Joint Ethics Committee did not follow its own stipulated process as defined by the code when it found him guilty and ordered him to make a public apology. He says the committee changed the charges midway and introduced evidence without ever asking him to respond. McPherson says there was nothing wrong with his use of the word in the context that he used it, adding that it was none of the committee's business. Action SA MP Ellen Beasley, who laid the complaint, said he's shocked that McPherson would challenge the matter in court instead of apologizing.
Parliament's Joint Committee on Ethics and Parliamentary Interests found McPherson guilty of breaching the ethics code with regards to these comments and ordered him to be reprimanded and to offer an apology. Rather than accepting this outcome, McPherson has decided to undermine Parliament and has taken Parliament to court.
McPherson said Beasley is using the Ethics Committee to violate the Constitution in pursuit of political agendas. Babalo Ndenza, Eyewitness News.
And YouTube has reached a confidential settlement with a 15-year-old American who accused the Google-owned platform and other social media networks of harming his mental health 3 months after an unprecedented verdict in a similar case. Google spokesperson Jose Castaneda confirmed the deal, saying the company had built YouTube responsibly for more than a decade and that its focus remains on building age-appropriate products and parental controls. The agreement includes no admission of liability. Instagram owner Meta, TikTok and Snapchat remain defendants in the case, the second of its kind in the US, which is set to go on trial in LA next month. Gold is trading at $4,076.82 an ounce. The rand is at 16.56 to the dollar, 21.86 to the pound, 18.83 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $76.43 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the M1 North. This is between Boyson's Road and the double-decker section. That's due to an accident. Please be on the lookout there. While traveling on the M2 West, we've got delays as well. This is between Wemapan Road and the Crown Interchange.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 20 and 21 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. The SAPS has approached the private security industry to help bolster operations ahead of next Tuesday's protest planned against undocumented foreign nationals.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
We're calling on Joburg to walk the inner city with us. In 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. Babize bonke. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's Walk the Talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
Seven minutes after 10 o'clock. Dumelang, welcome to the second hour of the Clement Manyathela Show. Thank you for staying with us here on 702. I trust you're good this morning. And thank you for your contributions on the 702 open line. Alfred on the WhatsApp line commenting on that conversation we had about Bafana players going shopping in Atlanta. Alfred says, Clement, if we were sitting on 6 or 4 points after 2 games, then I would say we have the luxury of going on that shopping spree. But with 1 point, I would rather use every chance I get to sharpen my sword. Right? And this is the other argument that exists. When you know that you are far behind, you have not really been performing exceptionally. You want to use every single minute to try and hone your skill. But also, you don't want to sabotage yourself and just focus on the work, and there's no time for you to prepare or strengthen your mental fortitude. V says, Clement, let the boys go shopping. They might not get the chance to shop when they're busy packing bags to come home. How V? Come on. Don't be like that to our boys. Anyway, 3 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's when we take on South Korea. A lot of us will be up to watch the match, and let's hope the heavens will be with us. It's 8 minutes now after 10.
You're with Clement Manyathela.
702. Let's walk the talk.
So, there is an announcement that's been made by the MMC for Transport in the city of Johannesburg, Kenny Kunene, and we'll speak to him in a moment. But he has made an announcement of this decision that's been taken by the city of Johannesburg to suspend all fuel supply to its Johannesburg Roads Agency fleet until further notice. And what this means is that the teams responsible for maintaining the city's road network are effectively grounded. What does that mean for you? It means potholes are likely to be left unfilled. Traffic lights will be left unreported. Stormwater drains will be left uncleared across the metro. That's what the MMC is effectively warning off here, because there are these essential services that have essentially been paralyzed. Kenny Kunene, the MMC for Transport in the city of Johannesburg, joins us more to explain and clarify what on earth is going on. Mr. Kunene, thank you for making time. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement, and good morning to your listeners. Thank you for having us.
Let's start with maybe when this decision was made by the city of Johannesburg to suspend like all the fuel supply to the JRA fleet. When was it made, and is it still in place?
Clement, it was made last week, Monday, from what I have been informed. I became aware of it when I was doing the bridges on Monday. Because I then said to the CEO, we need to have the team to come and patch this excavated bridge, to come and fix it and put the paving. And I was told that the cars are grounded because there hasn't been any diesel supply from last week, Monday. And that is when I made a press statement so that I become transparent with the residents of Johannesburg. Because obviously for a week they have not seen JRA on the road. I was not briefed. And I said to the CEO, we need consequence management. But I was then called by Treasury to say that they have not been made aware that there is this outstanding money that needs to be paid for diesel. Had they been made aware, they would have sorted it out as it relates to critical services. So I asked the CEO that consequence management must happen. We must identify who has dropped the ball because the residents of Johannesburg have been deprived of service delivery, which is my competency and my mandate to make sure that it happens.
Wait, when you say someone who dropped the ball, what do you mean? Because my understanding is it's the city of Johannesburg that decided that let's suspend this fuel supply, understanding, of course, what the consequences would be. Are you suggesting that maybe there are certain technocrats at the JRA who didn't send maybe the right documentation or didn't make the right orders for them to receive that fuel supply?
Yes, it's twofold. But in this instance, we need to then get the official at JRA who is responsible for sending invoices for diesel, because he would have known that we owe so much for diesel, and therefore he needs to forward invoices. He needs to follow up with Treasury, and the city Treasury says they have not had any correspondence. However, the city also, remember, is not allocating enough to JRA for us to be able to do what we need to do. And had we had enough allocation, we would have sorted it out as we always do. This is the first time that this thing is happening. But also, Clement, there are a few things that have been happening, and you would understand that it's election time. And obviously, some of the technocrats at JRA would belong to certain political parties. You don't know the instructions that they get, so that Kenny Kunene looks bad, JRA looks bad, and therefore Kenny Kunene looks bad. This has never happened before since I took over. So it's the first time that it has happened, and that is why I said I want a full investigation as to what has transpired. I don't want to throw it entirely on the doorstep of Treasury, because Treasury has now came back to me and said, we don't have an invoice. We have not been alerted, because when SMMEs are not paid and they are coming to my office toying, we follow up with Treasury, and they would make a plan that at least we sort out the SMMEs.
Sure.
So because they need to also work with what they have. We understand that we are not collecting enough revenue, and obviously National Treasury is also now, instead of assisting, seeking to punish the city, instead of assisting the city. We've got, and there's many reasons to that. You've got city power that is owed, that owes ESCOM. But why does city power keep on owing ESCOM? It's because you've got hijacked buildings in the city that are stealing electricity. You've got informal settlements that are stealing the electricity.
Yeah.
So the residents of Johannesburg are paying for the criminals. Joburg Water the same.
So
you've got hijacked buildings that are connecting water illegally. So we collect from the law-abiding citizens.
Yeah.
We pay on their behalf, but at the end of the day, there's still a gap. And that gap you find in hijacked houses, hijacked buildings.
But in this case, we're not talking about a gap. In this case, I thought, in fact, initially that we are talking about somehow of a deepening operational crisis within the city's finances.
No.
But you have said that Treasury has come back to you to say we didn't get an invoice.
Yes.
So the suggestion, at least to me, is that something is going wrong at the GRA. Someone has dropped the ball, as you have suggested.
Yes.
What I want to understand...
Someone has dropped the ball, but I'm saying Treasury also is not able to give JRA enough.
Yeah, of course. Like many other agencies. So
exactly.
Here's what I want us to do, because I want the listeners to know what they can expect. I mean, the JRA is an agency that's responsible for so much, for pothole repairs, traffic signal maintenance, stormwater clearing, infrastructure inspections, all of which have now been suspended due to this lack of fuel. What can the residents of Johannesburg expect until this matter is resolved?
Treasury has given me an assurance that this will be sorted out by today, and the vehicles will be back on the roads by today. I just spoke to them again this morning, and they are busy sorting it out, getting the right invoices from JRA, and then making sure that they are paid so that the drivers can get their diesel card.
Okay, and at the JRA, have they told you if they've identified where the problem may have emanated from?
The CEO is busy investigating that, and he will give me a report by Friday.
Okay, got you. Kenny Kunene, thank you so much for speaking to us.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, my brother.
The Johannesburg MMC for transport. So initially, because that's the impression I got when I saw the statement by the MMC, was that this has got something to do with just the finances of the city of Johannesburg. In fact, the MMC himself in his statement said the financial and liquidity challenges facing the city of Johannesburg have moved from just balancing the books to the daily realities on our streets. So he suggested it, but it seems he has now spoken to Treasury, and Treasury says they'll sort it out, but someone at the JRA dropped the ball. Question is who and what happened? And you heard what Kenny said. When it's election year, people are very sensitive. So if you do that, you may be seen to be intentionally sabotaging maybe a particular party that runs that department or a particular party that governs the city. That's what the conversation then becomes. But I do think that we need to ask serious questions, because if this suspension was made on Monday, suspending the fuel supply, that means the traffic lights that needed to be fixed, the potholes that needed to be sorted out, and all the responsibilities of the JRA that requires mobility, then those were suspended. It can't be. It's 18 minutes after 10.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings,
8 to midnight.
The 30th of June. And government has come out very strongly to say that they are prepared to meet any lawlessness on that day. A bill of more than 600 million rand has been put onto that project. The comrades are at it again. Here's another opportunity to steal. My sense is that they caused all this by abdicating their duties as far as the management of immigration in this country, our borders. And here they are coming in as these people that are going to save the day. They caused this crisis.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
Hey Gauteng, the Hollywood Foundation is calling all passionate entrepreneurs and small business owners. It's time for the 2026 Gauteng Bambelela Business Awards, and your MSME could win a share of over 1 million rand in funding. These awards celebrate small businesses that are driving growth, innovation, and transformation across South Africa. If you believe your business is making a real impact, this is your moment to shine and take your enterprise to the next level. Enter before 30 June 2026, and your business could be the next big success story. Visit the Hollywood Foundation website for more details to apply today. The Bambelela Business Awards, powering your potential. T's and C's apply.
The pain of losing a loved one is never easy. It will leave you feeling overwhelmed. At Clientele, we understand that burying loved ones with dignity truly matters. Our funeral plans pay out cash within just 24 hours, and you receive 200 Rand airtime when you claim to make those important calls. Plus, we cover up to 13 people on one plan. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Oh, shame. Do you have a sore throat? The Andalex range of lozenges offers two options. At the first signs of an irritated, scratchy throat, use Andalex lozenges for dual action, soothing relief. But for a painful, inflamed throat, use Andalex C lozenges for triple action, pain relief. Andalex, SA's #1 choice for a sore mouth and throat. Andalex lozenges are available at all leading pharmacies and supermarkets.
Just Andalex it.
Andalex, a proud sponsor of The Masked Singer Season 3.
You know when your people are giving their best. Not because they're pushed or pressured, but because they feel supported. And support is making sure they're covered. So if something happens, they can get the care they need. FlexiCare Health Insurance makes it simple for every business to protect their people with affordable health cover. You care, we cover. For a tailored FlexiCare quote, speak to your financial advisor today. FlexiCare is underwritten by ANG, a licensed non-life insurer and FSP, and administered by Discovery Health, a licensed FSP.
My name is Richard Sutton, and I'm the host of the podcast Shift Happens. This podcast is about you, about transformation, elevation, and becoming the best version of yourself. Each episode shares powerful, hard-won lessons from prominent South Africans who have faced doubt, change, and early failure, and emerged transformed. Don't miss Shift Happens, the tools, insight, and skills to help you navigate the real realities of life. Now streaming on PrimeMediaPlus.com, the Prime Media Plus app, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
702.
The Clement Manyathela Show.
Let's walk the talk.
It's 21 minutes after 10 o'clock. Okay, I want to bring in Helen Ziller now, who's the DA mayoral candidate in Johannesburg, because she has been warning a lot about the financial situation in the city of Johannesburg and its impact on service delivery. She's done a lot of work at looking at the JRA as well. Helen, thank you for coming through. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. Good to be with you again.
So the issue around the fuel supply, which was suspended to the JRA fleet, we are now told by Kenny Kunene that he spoke to Treasury and they said they don't have an invoice, but they're going to sort it out today. So the suggestion is this is not because of the financial pressure the city is facing, but it's because someone at the JRA dropped the ball. Do you believe that? What are you hearing?
Look, there's so many contradictory arguments here. I mean, Eskom has said again that the city has defaulted on its loan repayment again, and they have threatened again to cut off the city because the city power is not paying Eskom. The people are paying for their electricity. In Johannesburg, the situation is so dire that they shift money around everywhere to try and patch up the worst leaks quickly so that they can continue shoving money around to bring the fleet back on service, for example, or to pay Eskom, or to just push the money around quickly before they are going to be cut off or penalized in some major way. It's just pathetic how the finances are run in Joburg. Pathetic. And it's because of all the corruption and the theft. That's why.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. And I just thought, because as you say, there are contradictory messages that are coming through, and seemingly to you as well. It's contradictory messages that are landing up on your desk. But Helen, thank you so much, DA mayoral candidate in Johannesburg. Let me take some of your calls on 011-883-0702. Nicholas, you are in Johannesburg. Hi.
Hi, Clement. Look, it's very sad. It's a sad situation for us as residents because we pay rates in this beautiful city. I listened to the MMC as he was speaking to you, asking that someone has dropped the ball and that there must be consequence management. I think, Clement, the person who has dropped the ball is the MMC, because municipalities are governed by something called the MFMA. In the MFMA, we speak about the SDBIP, which is the Service Delivery and Budget Implementation Plan. Now, an MMC is supposed to monitor the budget, is supposed to monitor that suppliers are being paid, not to come to radio and say that he was shocked to find that an invoice was not submitted and shocked and paid. So it's truly a reflection on the failures that the MMC has subjected us to, and it's a reflection of our city, of people who are incompetent, who do not know how MFMA or municipalities are ran. And it's very sad for us as citizens who believe in this beautiful city.
Nicholas in Johannesburg, thank you for your call. Kenneth in Joburg, hi.
Hi, Clement. I think just quickly, I just want to agree with the previous caller. I'm shocked that the MMC will issue a statement like you call him because your understanding is that maybe there's a financial crisis. He comes in now, he says something, and you get what you're getting from his statement. All of us, that's what we're thinking, that maybe the city doesn't have money. Now, as an MMC, he's the political head of transport in the city of Joburg. Surely, before he issues a statement, you could have called the MMC, the CEO, for what's happening, and try to find out. So what these guys do is just the same with Gates. They see something on Twitter, and then they just issue a statement just like that. So the responsibility falls squarely back to him. He is in charge. He should know how much does the entities under him have. Are there any liquidity challenges? Are suppliers being paid on time? The same thing Helen is saying, that they're moving money around. Does he have enough allocation to be able to sort out the stuff? So it's him. It's the MMC.
Yeah, look, Kenneth, you're right. The statement that he released was a bit different. It suggested something else. But also, I am going to be a little gracious to him. Things do move around quickly, and maybe when he was establishing the facts, he realized that the city did not get an invoice. But then I guess your question is, why did he not establish the facts first before coming out to release the statement? So Helen Ziller is still with us. Helen, I'm told that you were still saying something there. I cut you off. Apologies. Go ahead.
No problem, Clement. I want to tell you, your last two callers have been absolutely spot on. Kenny behaves as if he's in opposition. Every time there's a problem with the bridges or the fleet or anything, he comes out and says he's very shocked. Look at the state of the bridges. Someone must do something about the bridges. Look at the crisis in the fleet that's been grounded. Somebody must do something about it. He is the person who's in charge of both bridges and the fleet and everything else to do with roads and public transport in Joburg. And when the thing collapses, as it is, Ria Vaya is collapsing, Metro Bus is collapsing, the bridges are collapsing, and the fleet now is collapsing, and he says, oh my goodness, somebody must do something about it. And then he walks all over Joburg with the media to show where everything's collapsing. But it's his problem. He's been the MMC for 3 years. He's done nothing about the bridges. And now he walks around saying, look at the state of the bridges, they're all going to collapse. Yes, we've been pointing that out for 3 years. He's not an opposition councillor. He is in the government. He is the MMC. He's the Patriotic Alliances, or we call them the Pothole Alliance, because he doesn't fix any of the potholes either.
And
then they're in government with the ANC.
To be fair on him, though, Helen, his argument is that we are just not receiving enough money. You know that the city of Joburg is not giving these agencies enough to carry out their responsibilities. I mean, even maintenance.
Well, Clement, let me tell you why that
enough
is.
For maintenance of infrastructure.
Let me tell you why that is. It is because on every single major tender, people like Kenny Kunene interfere to make sure that the right people, quote unquote, get those tenders. Look at the tenders for buses for Metro Bus. Just ask a few questions around that. How many tenders were cancelled? So that the money was taken back to the central budget, and that was because people like Kenny don't like the company that won the tender through a fair and square process. That's what we're dealing with here. So when they run out of money and they complain that they're not getting enough money, how much has internal corruption contributed to that? I went round to look at the Ria Vaya bus stations in central Johannesburg, where Ria Vaya has completely collapsed, and they're being used as toilets or as dormitories. It is shocking. Meanwhile, in Cape Town, where they don't steal the money, they've got a perfectly functioning My City bus service which serves the poor commuters with affordable, quick transport, with free Wi-Fi and everything.
Got you. Helen Ziller, I'm out of time. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's wrap up with this WhatsApp.
Good morning, Clement. I don't believe a word Kenny Kunene is saying. He just got onto the interview and rambled about different topics. His portfolio is not even finance. So I don't know why he's speaking about finance. Why did it take a week to figure this out? JRA is an important entity. It's one of the most important entities in the city. How does it take a week to realize that the vehicles are not getting diesel? So I think this is an indictment on his leadership, and more so on just the management of the city. Very Sang from Johannesburg.
10:30, Sfiso Zulu has the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. Good morning.
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. Suspended senior Ekurhuleni Metro officer Julius Mkhwanazi says he hasn't had enough time to go through evidence presented by a witness who claims to be his former lover. Mkhwanazi is back at the Madlanga Commission today to respond to a series of fresh allegations against him. Witness K, who claims to be his ex-girlfriend, told the commission yesterday that Mkhwanazi was involved in the 2023 theft of precious stones worth nearly 15 million rand from an apartment in Killarney. The SAPS has approached the private sector industry to bolster operations during protests against undocumented foreign nationals next Tuesday. Acting Police Minister Firoz Kachalia is this morning meeting with heads of the sector to map out plans on how they will work together. Some of the organizations that have been approached include Bidvest, Protea Coin, Fidelity Services Group and G4S. And temperatures have climbed across Europe again today as a record-breaking heat wave leaves tens of thousands of people without power in France. Experts say the extreme weather is being driven by an atmospheric patterns that keep hot air trapped in place for days, with these factors worsened by global warming. And those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 11 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
traveling on the N17 West, we've got delays between the R21 and Osborne Road. There's also bumper-to-bumper traffic reported on the N3 North between the Caldenes interchange and the Kilulis interchange. That's due to roadworks. As a result, there's queuing traffic on the N12 West towards the Kilulis turnoff. If you are traveling out of Alexandra, do expect a slight backup on the N3 North just as you come out of Vincent Chabalala Road. There's also queuing traffic reported on the M2 West towards Main Reef Road. That's in the Amalgam City. Then heading towards Fourways or Randburg, we expect delays on the N1 North, Rand Park Ridge. An accident reported right after Bayers Nodia Drive. It's already causing heavy delays. Please try to avoid that one. More updates coming up at the top of the hour.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Let's count backward. 5. Insurance. 4. Pineapple. 3. Insurance. 2. Pineapple. 1. You're under. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Get over 150 million rand in weekly extra savings with the Checkers XXL Savings Championship. Like Parmalat cheddar or Gouda cheese, 850 grams, any two for 249 rand. Cadbury chocolate slabs, 136 or 170 grams, any two for 79 rand. And Baby Soft 2-ply fresh white or Supreme Quilts toilet rolls, 18 per pack, any two for 249 rand. Valid until 28 June, only at Checkers.
This Nando's ad is not an ad. It's a Wednesday reminder on a Wednesday with a beautiful professional voice and music made specifically for you. Specifically to tell you that today you can get the Wednesday double drop deal from Nando's. That's 2 full portion livers and 2 Nando's rolls for only $145. Wow. Now that's something worth being reminded about.
Thank you.
Like an alarm clock, but for your stomach. Nando's. Oh, what a place. T's and C's apply.
To walk the talk is to turn words into meaningful actions. And it's what we at 702 are committed to doing every day. We're also committed to following the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct. To give you balanced programming, fair comment, and accurate news. But if we stumble along the way and you feel we're not living up to the code, let us know on comment@702.co.za. And if after that you're still not happy, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission, PO Box 412365, Craig Hall 2024. For more, visit bccsa.co.za.
AI, global markets, and trillion-dollar companies. The headlines move fast, but what do they really mean for investors and everyday South Africans? Today, catch 702 Drive with John Pellman in conversation with 91 as we unpack the trends shaping markets, investments, and the future of the global economy. Discover what's driving today's biggest investment conversations. That's 702 Drive with John Pellman in conversation with 91 today on 702.
702.
The Clement Manyathela Show.
Let's walk the talk.
25 minutes before 11 o'clock, we start our conversation now with Standard Bank about their involvement in the rejuvenation of Johannesburg's inner city. As you know now, the 702 Josie, My Josie Walk the Talk is about more than just getting your steps in. It's a celebration of community, of connection, and the ongoing revival of Johannesburg's inner city. And Standard Bank is one of the key city champions, partners behind that vision, supporting projects that help make the CBD much safer, cleaner, and more accessible. Joining us now is Nkosinathi Manzana, who's the executive head of real estate at Standard Bank Group. Nkosinathi, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement, and thank you for having me.
So Standard Bank's headquarters still on Simon Street.
That is correct.
So,
that's our domicile.
Yeah. Why have you decided to remain in the CBD when you've got so many companies that are leaving?
Yes, sure. So I think there's a number of reasons, Clement. I mean, first of all, we have a purpose. We say Africa is a home. We drive a growth. And part of actually living that purpose and giving expression to it is being relevant in the communities where we operate. And so essentially, we are part of the community. in the CBD. We remain part of the community, and it's important to support the community. Secondly, we have several thousand staff who call the CBD their workplace. A large number of them live in the CBD, and so we have a vested interest there. And then I think, lastly, Johannesburg, I mean, its contribution to the country's economy is well documented. We do believe that there is latent potential to Johannesburg, and that with the involvement of parties like ourselves and other corporates working in partnership and in conjunction with the city, that this latent potential can be unleashed.
Yeah, and as you said, there are many people who live in the city, they work around the city, they move through the CBD every day, and safety and security remains quite a concern for them. How have you, as Standard Bank, supported the work to increase security across the Johannesburg CBD?
Sure, and I think it's one of those, safety and security is one of those, the sense of being safe and secure is quite important. So starting off, we are one of the founding members of what we call the firm. It's a Forum for Integrated Risk Management, which really says we are part of this CBD with a lot of other corporates who are still in the CBD. Let's work together on security, work with the with Metro Police, work with the SEPs, share information, share data across so that we can defeat the scourge of crime. So we are a founding member of the firm. We've also seconded resources to Josie Majosi on the safety and security work stream. So the person who leads that work stream is from Standard Bank, one of our senior security managers, performing a similar role to what he performs in the firm. And essentially, we've also, beyond just our own precinct, we've also contributed to increased lighting, using solar lighting in the CBD. You know, about 2 years ago, ahead of the game between the Springboks and New Zealand, it was quite important that the Ellis Park precinct is well lit. So we contributed financially to that. And we've also, within our own precinct, done street lighting in conjunction with the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there other private partners coming on board? Because when you look at the decline of Johannesburg, it's quite complex because it involves challenges around infrastructure, governance, crime. So I'm trying to figure out, how do we galvanize the private sector to work together in reversing this trend? Do you get a sense that they're coming on board to join?
They are. So there are a lot of other partners, Clement. So we work through Josie Majosi, which is a collective of entities that are action-oriented. We want to see things done. We're not working in competition to the city, but we work with the city. So, for instance, one of the competing banks, ABSA, they took on the challenge of the Mandela Bridge, which was poorly lit and had fallen into disrepair, and they've focused on that. There are many, many other partners who work through Josie Majosi. In fact, at the last count, I think there's north of about 140 or so partners who really have a similar objective around the CBD. There are many, many others. The educational institutions, UJ, VETS, they're all part of the collective.
Yeah, that's great to know. I want us to touch on the other initiatives that Standard Bank is driving on the ground in the CBD. The Field of Dreams initiative. Can you tell us about that and what it reflects about the bank's long-term commitment to the city?
So the Field of Dreams, for us, it's an investment in the youth, in the CBD specifically. And so how this came about, we were approached by the famed cricketer, Dr. Ali Bacher, who's a patron of the Maharishi Invincibility Institute. And for the listeners who may not have heard of Maharishi, I would encourage that they do a bit of research. It's fantastic that the type of work that they do.
Yeah.
Essentially for 200 rands a month, they will educate young people, including at a tertiary level, and actually follow the process right up until they get employment. In any case, so we were approached by Dr. Ali Bacher, who said, you know, there's this institution that's doing fantastic work that we were aware of, but these kids have got nowhere to play. We've got a piece of land which formed part of our strategic land holding portfolio, which we were quite happy to make available over a 10-year period for the creation of these sporting facilities. And so working with the Maharishi and Dr. Ali Bacha, first of all, Standard Bank provided the land and the seed funding for the project. And then we went knocking on doors, other corporates, to say this is what we are collectively wanting to do in the CBD. We raised the funding, and today we have a fully fledged soccer pitch, full-size soccer pitch, 2 combination courts, basketball and netball. And these are very well utilized, primarily by the students of the Maharishi, but there's also a very vibrant and active inner city football league that started fairly recently. And so for us, this is really saying there's historically we associate Johannesburg with gold. The new gold is the youth. And so we have to invest in the youth, working in partnership with other people.
Absolutely. And for some of you who may not know the Maharishi Institute, when you come for the 702 Walk the Talk, one of the routes they're going to take you past the institute. So you'll learn a lot about the incredible work that they're doing. So the bank has also launched a new bin initiative, rolling out locally designed dustbins across Johannesburg. What is your role as Standard Bank in this?
So where it started, as part of the Josie Majosi collective, we started off thinking we need to clean up the inner city. And so this started with several hundred of our staff, and this grew to other corporates also climbing on board. And we had an initiative to pick up litter in the CBD. We worked with the artist Mbongeni Butelezi. Out of some of the trash that we collected, he created this beautiful piece of artwork which adorned our own atrium and is now part of our collection. Then the next thing was, how do we make this more sustainable? If you go into the inner city today, you'll notice that there are areas that are not serviced with bins. But it wasn't for us just any bin. This is specially designed to be resilient, but most importantly also to try and engender some sort of ownership. So we call them the I Heart Josie bins, which were designed by another artist, James Delaney. They've got a heart shape that is carved out of the bin. And if you go to the Standard Bank precincts today, in the CBD, in Rosebank, and in our Liberty campus, that heart shape we've painted blue. Our thinking is that the next corporate that then says, I want to donate X number of bins for the city of Joburg to add my effort to this initiative, they can paint it their color. So, for instance, their heart outside the APSA precinct is naturally going to be red. Outside somebody else's precinct, it'll match their corporate colors. And so, in a way, it's an invitation to other corporates to say, come on board, let's work with the city, let's do our bit to keep the city clean.
Yeah, 15 minutes before 11 o'clock. After the break, we'll continue this conversation. I'll go to your calls as well and WhatsApps on 011-883-0702. You can send your WhatsApps on 072-702-1702. What have you picked up that's changing in the inner city in as far as just cleanliness, the issue of security is concerned, and maybe you still live in and around the city? You've seen the contribution of some of these private partners like Standard Bank. What difference has it made in your community in the city? Share your thoughts on 072-702-1702. It's 15 minutes before 11.
Mavis, I wonder if I should sell my car. I'm not sure where to go.
Wanna sell your car, but don't know what to do. You don't have to go far, we come to you. If you're rolling in a 1.5 or a Lacquer 2.2, doesn't matter what you drive, we buy cars once you.
We Buy Cars, the easiest way to sell your car by far.
If you've got a small dog, you will know they live big lives, right? But did you know that smaller dogs have unique needs and can benefit from eating a food specially tailored to these needs? That's why Hills Pet Nutrition has developed expert science-backed nutrition to help small dogs live their best lives. Whether for overall well-being or to address a specific health issue, there's a Hills food for your dog. Hills is available at your vet, pet specialty store, or online. Hills Pet Nutrition. Science does more.
You can become a victim of a legal problem, wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
South Africa doesn't have a food production problem, so why do millions of people still experience hunger? This Thursday on 7:02 Afternoon Drive, we'll be in conversation with the Dis-Chem Foundation to discuss why nutritious food remains out of reach for so many South Africans. We'll explore the impact this has had on children, families, and communities, and how the foundation's innovative interventions are helping turn the tide. Remember, every swipe of your Dis-Chem Better Rewards card makes a difference for the Dis-Chem Foundation to serve communities across the country. The Dis-Chem Foundation, caring for the community. Every swipe counts.
You're with Clement Manyathela.
7:02.
It's 12 minutes now before 11 o'clock. We're in conversation with Standard Bank this morning about their efforts and involvement in rejuvenating and turning around the Johannesburg's inner city. And as I said, I want to hear from some of you that are still working in the inner city. What are you picking up in as far as progress is concerned? I've got a message here from Makhosi who says, "Hi Clement, listening to the interview while working from the Standard Bank Simmons office. Worked at the corner bank between Greyston and Rivonia prior to SBG, so I was very skeptical when I made the shift. Nonetheless, I live in the West Rand, so it's a swift drive to the office, but I'm very impressed by the security and the cleanliness around the campus. One can walk quite comfortably in the streets. Side note, I was not paid to write this text. I'm a 702 listener. Thank you for your message, Makhosi. I really appreciate it. Gosnati, many residents and businesses, of course, remain skeptical. As Makhosi says, she used to be skeptical herself. They remain skeptical about the possibility of meaningful inner city renewal, and you've taken us through some of the signs that we have seen. But if you had to describe the CBD in 10 years' time, what would success look like from a Standard Bank's perspective?
So I think there's no shying away from the fact that the challenge of the CBD is immense. But the way we look at it is that so is its potential. And that's really what we're talking about here. So to answer your question more directly, in 10 years' time, what does it look like if it's successful? I think we're going to see, for me, to say it's successful is when businesses return to the CBD. I think in 10 years' time, there'll be a lot of progress, especially around the concept of an education town, which the Maharishi Institute is a primary driver of, that Wits University is on board with and are already taking up buildings in the CBD, and that we've supported, as I said, through the Field of Dreams project. So for me, it's a vibrant city. It's a place where people feel safe to live. It's quick access to work, and it's secure, most importantly.
Yeah. And are you sitting down with government as well? Because at some level, they need to be very much involved. Are they joining you on the table?
So not directly as Standard Bank on this initiative, but through Josie Majosi as a collective of corporates, educational institutions and others. As I said earlier, the idea is not to work in competition with government. The idea is to join the dots where possibly those dots aren't joining and work with government. And so absolutely, and in a very apolitical way, it doesn't matter who the next mayor is. Josie Majosi will still be there because we are quite clear on what the objective for Josie Majosi is. And so both at the local government, at the provincial government, our CEO at Josie Majosi interacts through both those levels.
Yeah. Is there, someone was asking earlier about the traffic lights initiative. Is that something you're also involved in?
We got involved with the traffic lights initiative. So at the height of load shedding, we know what happens when the traffic lights aren't working. The city goes to near gridlock. So within our precinct, I think we about 7 or 8 sets of traffic lights. We back them onto our backup systems. So when there is load shedding or a localized fault and we don't have power to the precinct, the Standard Bank backup systems kick in. At the same time, they support the traffic lights around the node. And I'm aware that other corporates have done the same. I think the trick for us is that we must be able to join the pockets where this has been done to ensure that we get mobility throughout the city in those situations where there's localized electrical faults or, in fact, load shedding.
Yeah, and I guess what helps is that with all these initiatives, you're actually stimulating economic growth, but also job creation around the inner city through even the Standard Bank gallery. Let's talk now about the partnership between the bank and 702 and Josie My Josie with Walk the Talk this year. What do you hope people see or feel or take away from that experience, and why should they sign up to be part of it?
So I think, first of all, Clement, I know you're an athlete. Congratulations on your comrade success. We don't quite have a route that is 89 kilometers. So there's a 5 kilometer, 8 kilometer route and a 15 kilometer route.
Yeah.
So personally, for me, what I'm hoping that people see when they do participate in the Walk the Talk is that they get to see the potential that we see. They get to see the progress, however small it might be perceived to be in relation to the bigger challenge of the inner city. They get to see the pockets of progress. They get to see the buildings that property owners have refurbished. They get to see the buildings that property owners who've stayed in the inner city, in the space of affordable housing. There's incredible work that others have done. But ultimately, the straight answer to your question is see the potential of the CBD and support the cause of homelessness in the CBD, which is one of the key focus areas for Josie My Josie.
Yeah, we were there in Hillbrow yesterday focusing on just homelessness.
Yes.
But thank you so much for speaking to us. Nkosinathi Manzana is the Executive Head of Real Estate at Standard Bank Group. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Clement. Thank you for having me.
It's going up to 5 minutes before 11.
You hear that? That's the sound of business execution finally visible. No more chasing people and reports. No more disconnected systems. No more guessing if our business is performing or not. iStratGo connects strategy, people, performance, and day-to-day work into one clear software platform, so leaders can see what's working, what's not, and where to focus. Because when execution is visible, everything runs better. Book a demo on istratgo.com. istratgo.com.
If you work in marketing and you've delivered real business impact, this is your moment. The Marketing Achievement Awards, now in Season 6, as South Africa's leading platform recognizing strategic marketing excellence. Whether you are in corporate, you're an agency, maybe you're a startup or in-house team, the MAA celebrates smart thinking and real results, no matter your budget. Entries are now open, so don't miss your chance to be recognized. Visit marketingawards.co.za to download your entry kit before the 11th of July deadline. The Marketing Achievement Awards, presented by Prime Media Broadcasting.
Sure, they aced it. The Championships Wimbledon experience with the Mzansi Advantage is back at Amex Tennistown Monte Casino between 11 and 12 July 2026. Enjoy VIP hospitality, the ultimate big screen experience, a kids fun zone, and so much more. Buy your tickets now on Howler and get 50% off on limited tickets when you use your Amex card. Tennis is better with Amex. American Express Cards is operated under license in South Africa by Nedbank, a licensed financial services and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Clement is on X.
At The Real Clement M.
4 minutes before 11 o'clock. It's really fascinating seeing a number of private companies that are clubbing together and saying, as competitors and as competitive as we are towards each other, there are certain problems that need to be resolved and they need our collective effort. And that's what I appreciate so much about whether it's Standard Bank or APSA or any of the other partners that are involved. in helping rejuvenate the city of Johannesburg. And look, I wanted to tell this story yesterday, and I forgot, but I've been scared for the longest time to drive in the inner city. I don't know the last time I've been to Hillbrow. And when we had this OB yesterday, I was thinking, oh my goodness, I wonder what's going to happen. And not as in, crime but I was just worried about, because I've spoken a lot about the dilapidation or the decline of the city of Johannesburg. So I was quite curious, but in a concerning way. But when I drove in, it wasn't bad. Like, I saw really some areas that are clean, and I'm not suggesting the entire city is clean, but there are some pockets that you could see are clean. And I guess once we arrived where we were broadcasting from in Hillbrow yesterday, then you sort of understand the work that Josie My Josie does and how they've been involving all these private companies to try and clean up and rejuvenate the city. So the point I'm making is those efforts that Nkosinati Manzana from Standard Bank was talking about, I think we're beginning to see that. And I want to call on you to register to walk with us next month in the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, because that's going to give you an opportunity to also see where the city is now. I know a lot of us have been for the longest time scared to even go in the inner city. Some of you thought, I'll never step there again. And I'm saying, here's an opportunity for you to see the city in a completely different light. Jeff, you're calling us from Woodmead. Good morning.
Yes, Clement. I'm an architect, and I must tell you this whole initiative is very exciting, because if you look at places like London, the dockyards, they fought for 30 years to stop it being demolished, and today it's an incredibly vibrant place. New York, for example, was broken. And when it was taken over, the inner city development, now the principles there, the buildings are there, the infrastructure is there, the housing is there, the businesses, everything is there. And if you start to get housing and business working together, you don't need taxis, you don't need buses, you don't even need traffic. You walk in places like that. And Europe's got so many examples of where this has actually happened. And Joburg its inner Joburg is worth an absolute fortune in terms of buildings that are there. To redo a building is half the price of building a new one. And it really is trying to change the concept or the notion or the global kind of idea that Joburg is a mess. It isn't a mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess. We'll put it this way, it is a mess that can be cleared.
It is being cleared. And already we're seeing that. Absolutely. Jeff, thank you for your call in Woodmead. And as I said, my own personal experience yesterday, driving in and going to Hillbrow, I did see the work. I saw the work that Standard Bank, Josie My Josie, and the other partners are doing in the inner city to rejuvenate it, to clean it up, because my goodness, we have to claim the city back. It's 11 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Suspended senior Ekurhuleni Metro officer Julius Mkhwanazi says he hasn't had enough time to go through evidence presented by a witness who claims to be his former lover. Mkhwanazi is back at the Madlanga Commission today to respond to allegations leveled against him. Witness K, who claims to be his ex-girlfriend, told the commission yesterday that Mkhwanazi was involved in the 2023 theft of precious stones worth nearly 15 million rand from an apartment in Killarney. Mkhwanazi has this morning told the commission that he was scheduled to appear at an internal disciplinary hearing in the city of Ekurhuleni.
Today, tomorrow, and for 3 days I was supposed to appear, or I'm appearing in our disciplinary hearing. And I was preparing with my representative yesterday, but I was made aware that there's a person testified against me who made a statement. But my appeal is that to the commission that I didn't get any transcript. I didn't get anything that has to do with that.
The SAPS has approached the private security industry to bolster operations during protests against undocumented foreign nationals next Tuesday. Acting Police Minister Firoz Kachalia has this morning met with heads of the sector to map out plans on how they will work together. Some of the organizations that have been approached include Bidvest, Protea Coin, Fidelity Services Group and G4S. The Police Ministry's Kamokhelo Mokhotsi.
Representatives of the private security industry welcomed the call for
closer collaboration and pledged their support in ensuring that any planned demonstrations on the 30th of June 2026 take place in a safe and lawful environment. The industry advised that it had already commenced preparations and expressed its readiness to contribute to maintaining public safety.
Meanwhile, Kachalia says hotspots have been identified in some parts of the Western Cape following recent violent protests where 2 Mozambican nationals were killed. The attacks happened in Mossel Bay. Violence has also broken out in the Overberg region where hundreds of residents fled their homes in Clement and Gansbaai. Ntutuzelo Nene has more.
Acting Police Minister Feroz Kachalia says additional police resources will be deployed to identified hotspots across the province.
A lot of the protest action, as you say, has taken place in the rural areas. Police are ready across the province. There were about 4 areas in the rural areas that were identified.
Meanwhile, there's no indication of planned protests in Cape Town. However, the city's Safety and Security MMC JP Smith says authorities are monitoring threats circulating on social media relating to xenophobia and a proposed shutdown on 30 June. Dutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
And the temperatures have climbed across Europe again today as a record-breaking heat wave leaves thousands of people without power in France. Experts say the extreme weather is being driven by atmospheric patterns that keep hot air trapped in place for days, with these factors worsened by global warming. France's national temperature indicator says an average of daytime and nighttime temperatures across 30 stations reached 29 degrees yesterday, which is the hottest since measurements began in 1947. Temperatures in France today are expected to reach highs between 39 and 41. The heat wave caused the country's first major power outage of the latest bout of extreme weather after a heat-related incident with a transformer left around 68,000 households without electricity. Gold is trading at $4,076.82 an ounce. The rand is at 16.56 to the dollar, 21.86 to the pound, 18.83 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $76.43 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North just as you come out of Beyers-Naudé Drive. That's due to an earlier accident. There's also slow-moving traffic on the N3 North between Van Buren Road and the Gilulis interchange due to roadworks.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 20 and 21 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Suspended senior Ekurhuleni Metro cop Julius Mkhwanazi says he hasn't had enough time to go through evidence presented by a witness who claims to be his former lover.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's an energy that connects us all.
That's what makes this one so special.
In 702, Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7 and 106 FM.
Six minutes after 11 o'clock, Dumelang, welcome to the third and final hour of the Clement Manyathela Show. Thank you for staying with us here on 702. It's time now for our
Burning questions.
Insightful answers.
Listener's choice.
With Clement Manyathela.
Our listener's choice feature. So, as you know, this is an opportunity for you as a listener to co-curate the content of the show with us. So if there's a topic you want us to discuss or there's an issue that's concerning you that we haven't paid too much attention to, and you want us to go back to that issue, give us not a call, but send me an email on cm@702.co.za. So cm@702.co.za, and we will bring that conversation up. Today, we're talking about visas and how costly they are, because one of our listeners asked that we touch on this, and we're trying to find out if or why visas are so expensive for South Africans that are traveling abroad. I mean, the cost of international travel has increased for many South Africans, not only because of flights and accommodation, but because of the cost and the complexity of visa applications. I mean, for the Schengen area, which covers many European destinations, the visa fee for adults has increased significantly. There are payments that must be made when you apply for a visa before applicants even factor in VFS or service center costs. You've got photos, you need travel insurance, transport to the appointments, and other supporting documents. So the advertised visa fee is often just one part of the cost. And whenever I've hosted ambassadors on this show, especially European ambassadors, some of you call in to raise concerns about visa fees and the stringent process. In fact, that becomes the first question often we get when I'm hosting ambassadors, and most of them from Europe. So there was a recent global investigation by Lighthouse Reports in collaboration with News 24 and other international media partners, which raised fresh questions about how much South Africans are paying in the visa application process, and not only to foreign governments, but also to private visa outsourcing companies such as VFS Global. And that investigation found that VFS Global's operating profits, it actually profits more than, we're talking millions now. And their profits more than quadrupled between 2017 and 2024, from about 583 million rand to a much higher amount. So that investigation also found that in a sample of visa receipts for Swedish visa applications across 16 countries, South African applicants spent the most on average on optional extras. So in the South African sample, optional extras made up 47.1% of VFS revenue, the highest share among the countries identified. So what I'm asking you this morning is whether Africans are being priced out of international travel, and what really drives the cost of a visa, and what do the travelers also need to know before they apply, and are these visa costs making it harder for you to travel? Maybe you can share your personal stories as well. Have you ever delayed or canceled a trip because of visa fees or visa requirements? Give me a call on 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's 0727021702. Mpho Montiwa is the founder and CEO of Open Borders Immigration Consultants, joining us now on the line to guide us through this conversation. Mpho, thank you for making time. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Clement and 702 listeners. Thank you for having me.
Are visas more expensive for South Africans, or do South Africans simply face more visa requirements than travelers with stronger passports?
Not necessarily. So there are two separate issues here, which is obviously the visa fee and the visa requirements. So many countries charge the same visa fee regardless of the nationality, depend on obviously the category of the visa that you're applying for. Let's say, for example, if you're applying for a Schengen visa, currently we're looking at 90 euros for most adult applicants worldwide, and that is equivalent to like 1,600 rand. And then another example, let's say for a U.S. visitor's visa, we're looking at 185 US dollars. Canada, maybe around 100 Canadian dollars. So like I said, it's regardless the nationality, it mostly depends on the category of the visa. And then when it comes to obviously the requirements, this is where many South Africans faces disadvantages. For example, some countries, they get visa-free travels, visa on arrivals, or the electronic travel authorizations, whereas South Africans frequently need to apply for a full visa, whereas they also have to do biometrics, they also have to submit like financial proof, appointment booking fees, and passport submission. So the issue is often less about paying a higher fee and more about having to apply at all.
Oh, okay. Because whenever you hear South Africans complain that visas are expensive, one of the issues they don't understand is what exactly are we paying for?
Yeah, definitely. That is most of the questions in people's mind. So basically, travelers should calculate like the official government fees, which is paid at the destination country, mostly embassies or consulate. And then we also look at visa application centers fees, service fees, which are mostly paid to VFS, TLS contacts, or any other outsourced provider. And then they must also obviously plan for biometric fees, which are fingerprints and photographs that are taken at the center when they submit. They must also look for travel insurance fees, which are mandatory for many designations, including Schengen countries. So those document preparation, it's a cost on its own, because obviously when you take the photos, it needs fees, printing of whatever documents that you need to submit. Also, maybe like if in case you need translation on your documents, you pay for that. Medical reports, police clearances. So all that is additional costs apart from the visa fees and everything else.
Sure, and so it's almost like then you end up paying twice. Well, and in this case, I also mean first to maybe the foreign government and then to a private company that processes the application. Is that the case? Because there are instances where I've applied where on the online system it says make a payment, and then I do make a payment. And then when I get to the application center or the processing center, I'm made to pay again. And I'm like, but I've just paid online. So that amount, where did it go to and where does this one go to?
Okay. So firstly, the one that you pay online, because online, let's say, for example, you're booking an appointment through VFS. So VFS has got their own service fee that is paying them now to process your application and all that. And then when you get to the center, maybe they tell you that you need to pay for the visa fee. So the visa fee, most of the time, let's say if it's an application that is going to Home Affairs, that is the charge that Home Affairs charges. If it's going to the embassy, so which means that fee goes to the embassy. So that's why the fees are different when you apply online and also when you get to the center.
Yeah. So do you get a sense, Mpo, that the application processes are becoming more complex now, especially if you are going to Europe? And I'm asking that question because for the first time, I had a visa appointment last week, and for the first time, I was asked to account for the days. So let's say, for instance, I'm applying for a visa to whatever country, and my appointment there is on a Sunday. So maybe on a Sunday I'm running or whatever. But they asked me to sort of write a letter to say, because I'm landing in that country on a Friday. They want me to account for what am I going to do on Friday and on Saturday before I run on Sunday. And what are you going to do on Monday and Tuesday before you fly back to your country? And I've never been asked that before over the years. And I did ask the consultants there, is there anything different? And is that what you're picking up, I suppose, is what I'm trying to get? Is that what's happening lately, where the application process itself is becoming more stringent?
Yes, definitely it is. So how it works with the Schengen visa system is that the Schengen area allows travel between 29 participating European countries using one visa, right? So as a South African, when you're granted a Schengen visa, generally you can travel across participating countries such as France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Netherlands. So South Africans still require visas because South Africa doesn't have a visa-free agreement with the Schengen area. So in that way, for each and every visa application that you're doing, it's becoming complex because they really want to know that indeed you are going to do whatever that you're saying you're going to
and
do
you're coming
in that
back.
particular country,
Mm.
and then you still have to come back home. Because if you don't have like a plan, if you don't show them a plan, it will be as if you're just going and then you're deciding to never come back.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I mean, yeah, and for me, I'm like, I'm running. I've given you proof that I'm running on the Sunday. I can't arrive on Saturday when I'm running on Sunday. I mean, I need to fly out on Thursday, then I need to use the Friday and the Saturday to rest before running. But yeah, and I suppose I was just surprised that suddenly now you have to write a letter to motivate. Like on Friday, I'm
Yes.
going to take a walk. On Monday, I'm going to do this and that. But yeah, I guess that's how things are changing. I've got some WhatsApps that are coming through, some messages as well. Let's go to them on 072 702 1702.
Good morning, Clement. It's Bongani from Togoza. Clement, I just want to inquire for the business visa because I want to travel to China. What are the requirements? Are the same with the normal visa, or the business visa is indifferent? Yeah, I just want to understand that, how to apply it and where to apply.
Okay, thank you. Mpo?
Yes. So definitely you can apply for the business visa in China. So it also depends on what kind of business visa you applying for, because there are different types of business visa. There can be short-term business visa, whereas you just go in there to conduct meetings or conferences, or it's either maybe you're applying for a long-term business visa whereby you're establishing a business in the country. So it differs as to what type of visa, and then once we can know what type of business visa you want to apply for, that's when I can be able to advise the channels of how to go about it.
Okay. Ratsela in Senton, good morning.
Morning, Clement.
Hey, Tada.
Yeah, well, I also travel quite a lot. I've been to more than 20 countries, but I always find it so odd that Europe is the most difficult and the most expensive to get a visa for. Like Japan is the simplest visa process you'll ever get. Within 2 days, you have an appointment. You go there. It's about 500 rands to get a visa for Japan.
Really?
And it's the easiest visa I've ever received in my entire life, and the cheapest.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm just like, why is it so difficult for Europeans against us? America's the same thing. The first time I got an American visa, it's a 10-year visa. It was quite simple.
Yeah, same
But
here.
Europe is a challenge. Are they against Africans?
Look, one of the questions I asked, and look, it may very well be that they're also trying to protect themselves, because I did ask the consultants, is it because many of us leaving the continent are not coming back? Because they want to make sure that you're not going to be, just staying there. So I do get it, they have to do what's in the best interest or national interest of their countries. But they're really making it tough for us. Mpo, what's your experience? Because Ratsela says in his experience, Europe is specifically the most difficult. And he's asking, why is that? You may not know the answer to that, but in your experience, is Europe the most challenging one, or are there others you know of that are more stringent, have more stringent processes?
Yeah, no, it's not only Europe. Definitely there are other countries that are very stringent with their processes. And I can just say that some nationalities may also face reciprocity or issuance fees. That is most the issues there. And then also the application processes in other countries are heavily digitized, and then they still do need document intensive. So yeah, it's not only European countries. We do come across other countries that are really strict with their processes.
So I mentioned earlier on this News 24 Lighthouse report investigation that found out South Africans in Swedish visa receipt samples spent the most on paid extras. And I'm trying to figure out why might South African applicants be more likely to buy these add-ons? Is it an option we are taking ourselves, or that's just part of the expectation of the process, like these other add-ons?
No, the add-ons are definitely optional. I think it's because of most people think that obviously if you're gonna, say for example, book for a premium lounge submission, which means your visa will be issued quickly, or it will take priority, which is not the case. You know what I mean? So the premium lounge, for example, is just so that you can get better treatment, where you relax, you don't have to stand in queues and all that. It's got nothing to do with the adjudication of the visa outcome. So, for example, also the SMS fee, that is also optional, so that you can get that message when your application is completed. And also, let's say, like courier fees, whereby maybe you will want your passport to be couriered to your address. That is also optional, because other people, you can just say you go and collect once the outcome is issued. So in most cases, those are definitely optional additional fees.
Yeah. I mean, another thing that shocked me last week was I forgot to print out the application forms, because, many of these processing centers want you to bring in your application form. And for them to print it for me, I had to pay I think 1,800 Rand just for them to work on the application, which I forgot to print out, and they had to do it on their side. So, and then when you add up those costs, it's just unimaginable. It's 23 minutes after 11 o'clock. We'll continue this conversation with Mpho Montiwa after the break, but please keep your own personal experiences coming as well. 0727021702 is the WhatsApp line.
John Perlman. Weekday afternoons,
3 to 6.
Any thoughts, Peter, obviously with our audience in mind, on how this might impact international relations? I mean, the UK, for all its internal difficulties, has taken up important positions. Does any of that shift, or does government continue as government, irrespective of who's PM?
I think it would be a huge surprise if Andy Burnham changed the rules on Ukraine. I think Iran is less certain, because the UK has been criticised by Donald Trump for not standing side by side with the Americans.
John Perlman.
3 to 6 on 702.
Guard you and your family with compassion, because life happens. Be part of a family that truly cares. Our funeral dignity plans have helped South Africans bury their loved ones with dignity for more than 30 years. Let us help you create a meaningful tribute that honors your life and those of your loved ones. We pay out within 24 hours, and you will get double accident cover with a clientele funeral plan. Our plans are affordable. Pick the option that suits your needs. It's easy to apply. No medical examinations and no paperwork. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
This winter is a cold one, Mzansi. Keep the heat in and the cold out with Cash Build. Save on electricity and keep your home warm with our top quality ceiling insulation. Plus, upgrade to our energy efficient geysers and geyser blankets to keep your water hot for longer. Don't turn into an ice block this winter. Visit your nearest Cash Build store for quality insulation and energy efficient geysers. Cash Build.
When you can see what others don't, you can do what others can't. Nedbank is more than just a bank. We're a growth partner because we understand that real success happens when you're looking ahead, spotting opportunities others miss, and planning for tomorrow, today. Think bigger. Think Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently. Nedbank. We're licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Keep moving through 6 a.m. call times, the rain, dirt tracks, and moving through tight deadlines. Because you move with purpose. From the first stop to the final drop. The Hino 700 truck tractor comes standard with a 6-year drivetrain warranty and advanced safety features tailored to your industry. The Hino 700 is built to fuel your business's progress. Hino, all the way.
702 and Corporates That Care caught up with the Passenger Rail Agency of South Africa about how they're reconnecting communities through safe, reliable, and affordable rail transport.
When you talk about the scholars, pensioners, youth, any customer, one of the key things we focus on is customers must feel safe in the environment. So you find not only securitization of our assets, but also our customers, securing them, making them feel safe. We've got security on the trains. It's got the CCTV cameras on the trains, our stations. So the environment we need to look at, and that is critical. Part of our secondary mandate, Ongani, is also to generate revenue of our assets. We own significant property, land, but also other assets like fiber.
Visit prasa.com to learn more about their services, projects, and community initiatives. Corporates That Care with the Passenger Rail Agency of South Africa on 702. Let's walk the talk. Burning questions.
Insightful answers.
Listener's choice.
With Clement Manyathela.
27 minutes after 11 o'clock. Let's start with your WhatsApps.
Good morning, Clement. Why South Africans are required to submit applications for visas is that other countries feel the need to validate the passport. Not that they believe it's a forgery, but they believe it has been issued fraudulently to people not entitled to South African passports or South African documentation. Therein lies the rub. Have a good day, Tom.
Good morning, Clement and fellow listeners. I don't really blame countries for changing the visa processes and the interview process, because now you have a lot of Africans, instead of fixing their countries, they will rather run to other countries and under false pretenses of being tourist or different study visas. And then now, if as a country, if I'm the president of the country, or if I'm a minister of foreign affairs in that particular country, if I have a lot of overstayers who are coming to my country under false pretense of studying or tourist visas, obviously I'm going to change the laws, and there's nothing sinister about it. Whatever happens on the ground will inform the policies and the processes.
Yeah, look, I that's why I said I do get where some of these countries are coming from, because maybe in their experience they're seeing people are not coming back. Sisay says, Clement, regarding the visas, USA has recently introduced a $15,000 deposit for visa for some 18 African countries. Yeah, there's some of the countries we are not included there, but the countries include Angola, Algeria, Benin, Botswana, Central African Republic. There are many, Nigeria, there are Mauritius, many, Tanzania, many other countries that are included there. I mean, that means you're going to have to pay 249,000 Rand or so, thereabout, as a deposit. And I'm told that that money then gets returned if you come back home. That's a lot of money. And you're probably going there for just 4 days or 5 days, and you have to pay over 240,000 Rand. And you're told, well, if you come back as per what you've asked for, then we'll give you back your money. Sure, that's quite crazy. Mpo, there's someone here who's saying, but let's be fair. Yes, that listener who called and said 500 Rand for a visa for Japan, as fair as that may be, when you pay 1,600 Rand or so for a Schengen visa, I mean, you've got access to like many, many, many countries and not just one. Does that justify it?
Yes, it definitely does. It definitely does, because that 500 Rand that he has paid, which means it's only going to that particular country, whereas the difference with Schengen, then you get to go to all these different countries.
Yeah.
So it does justify the fee.
Okay. Mpo Montewa founder and CEO of Open Borders Immigration Consultants. Thanks for joining us. It's 11:31. Bali has the latest in eyewitness news headlines. In Bali, I see Julius Mkhwanazi is back at the Madlanga Commission.
That's correct, Clement. A very good morning. While suspended senior Ekurhuleni Metro Police Officer Julius Mkhwanazi says he has not had enough time to go through evidence presented by a witness who claims to be his former lover. Mkhwanazi is back at the Madlanga Commission today to respond to a series of fresh allegations leveled against him. Yesterday, witness K told the Commission that Mkhwanazi was involved in the 2023 theft of precious stones worth over 14 million rand from an apartment in Killarney. The South African Police Service believes collaboration with the private security industry is needed ahead of next week's anti-illegal immigration protests. Acting Police Minister Feroz Kachalia met with heads of the sector this morning to map out plans on how they will work together. Groups including March and March have planned nationwide protests calling for undocumented migrants to leave the country. And temperatures have climbed across Europe again today as a record-breaking heat wave left tens of thousands of people without power in France. Experts say the extreme weather is being driven by atmospheric patterns that keep hot air trapped in place for days, with these factors worsened by global warming. Temperatures in France today are expected to reach highs of between 39 and 41 degrees. Well, those are the headlines. This EWN and more at midday or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, traffic remains heavily backed up in Boksburg along the N17 West between the R21 and Osborne Road due to roadworks, and more roadworks are causing delays on the N3 North between Van Buren Road and the Kilulis interchange. If you're traveling towards Amalgam, do expect delays on the M2 West between the Crown interchange and Main Reef Road. There's also queuing traffic along Pretoria Main Road. This is just as you approach the Baklu interchange, so please be on the lookout there and continue driving with care. More updates at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Sharing Space
On the Clement Manyathela Show.
702.
It's 11:33, time for the Sharing Space. This is where we share our stories about stuff that's happened in our lives, really. And some of you ask for advice. Some of you just want to know if the other 702 listeners have experienced something similar. So you know the drill. I'm going to play a WhatsApp voice note of the story we have on our Sharing Space today, and then I'll come to your calls and your WhatsApps. Let's take a listen.
Hey, Clement. I recently broke up with my girlfriend of 5 years. We just had too many irreconcilable differences, and the relationship just couldn't survive that. Now, over the course of our relationship, she's actually helped me out quite a few times financially, and in all those times, she's told me I don't need to pay her back. But I keep track of how much that is, right? Roughly. It's around 120,000 Rand in total over the course of our relationship. It would be around 20,000 Rands at a time whenever she did give me money for a new project that I'm working on. And she helped me get printer and a new phone for the business. She would get me shirts, formal shirts, and shoes for when I have meetings. And after the breakup, she just turned on me and just told me that I need to pay back all her money. She also wants me to return the phone and the printer. Now, my business is doing well right now, so I am making some money and I'm in a position to pay her back over a period of time, like over a few months or so. Now, the tricky part is this came at a shock to me because she just decided, I think she's being bitter, if I can say that, because I'm the one who ended the relationship. So should I pay her back or just not entertain this at all?
Where's the EFF to say, pay back the money? Pay back the money. Okay, Anonymous. So Anonymous' story in summary is he's been dating for 5 years, this girl, and they've had a lot of differences lately and felt the relationship could just not survive them. So he decided to call things off. But he's an entrepreneur, and he says that she used to pay for certain things for him. She helped him out with money. He's like, here's 20,000 rand to help you with that project. But it was not a loan. It was just her, out of the goodness of her heart, helping him out set up this business because his business was experiencing some challenges. And he says the amount comes up to about 100,000 rand, I think, if I'm not mistaken, because he would typically receive like 20,000 amounts here and there for a project he was working on. And since he called for the breakup and they're now no longer together, the lady has asked that, please, I need you to pay back that money. And I need you to return the phone and the printer I bought you to help you with your work when we were still dating. So he's asking, should I pay back the money? And Anonymous, because you saying that your business is back on its feet and it's doing well, why not? Just pay her back the money for peace sake, because then she's going to go around consistently pestering you. So rather just pay the money. If your business is doing well, just take 100,000 rand, just give it to her. Buy a phone, get that printer, take it back to her, just so that you can have peace and you can start from scratch. But I've got a serious issue with people who, when they are in love, madly in love, they give you things, they pay things for you, and they don't call it a loan until you break up. And then they're like, remember that 500 rand I once sent you on a random afternoon on Friday? Well, I need it back. Honestly, I think that's a bit childish. What do you think of Anonymous's conundrum here, and what do you advise him to do? Give me a call, 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 0727021702.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
I love you conversation. It's a real thing in relationships. It can be a point of real tension. Who said it first? I argue that unless you know the other person is ready to say it back, don't say it.
How would you know they're ready?
I don't know. Now you love me, but I don't know if I love you.
What
now
if you fall for them first?
So I must hold back because
Until
I love you.
know. Now you're putting me under
How
pressure.
am I going to know if I don't tell you?
You know, Amo. If he doesn't say it back to you, he's in trouble. If he says thank you. You see, I've said thank you before.
You're horrible.
Wow.
You're horrible.
So what? You fake it until you make it?
Say it and then catch up to them falling for you.
It will come later.
It will come later. If I like hanging out
you
with
confess with your mouth and believe in your heart.
Hi, Bongani. Amanda here. When you're not too sure if you love someone and you're not quite sure you want to say it back and they say, I love you, then you can just say, I love you, tube.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
We at Monument Dental are very happy with the premium we're paying. I wish I did it sooner.
Outsurance business insurance clients know that it pays to switch. And did you know you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium when you switch? For dentistries, general medical practices, and all other businesses, get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance business insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Gauteng is currently experiencing high water consumption. To avoid water interruptions, residents are urged to use water sparingly to allow equitable supply. Act now. Save water. Every drop counts. This message is brought to you by the Department of Water and Sanitation, Rand Water, Gauteng Provincial Government, City of Johannesburg, City of Tshwane, and City of Ekurhuleni.
Johannesburg is calling. Join thousands of Joburgers on Sunday, 26 July for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk in proud partnership with Standard Bank. Experience the energy and spirit of the City of Gold as you walk through the historic streets of Joburg CBD, celebrating a city on the rise. As an iconic brand deeply connected to Johannesburg, Standard Bank invites you to be part of a movement that's bringing communities together and showcasing the best of Josie. Starting and finishing at Ellis Park, this is more than a walk. It's a celebration of our city and its growth journey. The 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, proudly partnered by Standard Bank.
The Sharing Space
on the Clement Manyathela Show.
702.
19 minutes before 12 o'clock. Let's go straight to your calls. Neo, you're in 4 ways. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement.
Itada.
My advice to the gentleman is that he must just pay that lady the money, because I know that she might have said it out of frustration, like anger, disappointment. That's it. But I know for the fact that chances are ex-people will be calling on at this door, and most men will attest that women have I was given money as well, and when the relationship ended, so one money. And if you don't pay it, I can tell you, ex-people, if you know ex-people, Tolani, he'll be on your door.
But yeah, hey guys, this is tough. So now here at Jola and we're giving each other gifts. What must happen now? When you're helping someone, Kachele, you're giving them some money, and you're not saying this is a loan. You're saying this is out of the goodness of your heart. Must I then take it as a loan in case of a breakup?
Clement, I will tell you what. So, to be a man in South Africa, you are at a disadvantage. Number one, because of our laws, you could be, arraigned in court to say that you did this, that to me. Chances are you'll be in court and to defend yourself. So for that matter, whatever, it's, the relationship, whether it's like good times and all this, and just remember, if you can, pay it.
And in this case, Anonymous can, because he says his business is doing well now. It's just that he feels like the ex is being petty. Neo in 4 ways, thank you for your call. Jerry, you're in Omonde. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Clement.
Sure.
I'm saying to the young boy, bow out with respect, pay back the money, and if you can even pay it with interest.
Okay. Must he also ask her to pay back maybe?
No.
Why?
No. You see, Clement, sometimes you've got to be a man in a situation, especially when the opposite person is a lady. Just be a man. Bow out with interest and just pay the money with interest and just walk away.
Okay, Jerry in Omonde. Thank you for your call. Hi, Bagit. Yeah, let's go to your WhatsApps.
Clement, Anonymous must pay back the money as in yesterday. And it's a good thing he was keeping track, because he knows very well there's no such thing as a free lunch, particularly where romantic relationships are concerned, particularly where the woman is the lender or the financier. So he must just pay back the money, please. We beg.
Okay, maybe the lesson here is, guys, next time you're so madly in love, it's a Friday night at a dinner and you're feeling madly in love, just be clearer when you're helping. When you're a financier and you're giving someone 20,000 Rand because their business is suffering, be clear and say, babe, can I lend you this money? Can I give you 20,000 Rand? And when your business is doing well, you can pay it back. Don't say, I'm just helping you out, babe, only for you to change your story when we break up. I mean, I was saying earlier, for me, the only thing I would ever take back is a car. Anything else, no. Just let it stay in the past. That's all.
Good morning, Clement. Anonymous must pay back the money. That woman was investing in him. Yeah, now the business is doing well. Suddenly there's a breakup. 5 years of investment. He must pay it back. Pela.
Yeah.
What did you think? Did you think you're going to have somebody who's going to uplift you and then you wake up tomorrow and say, oh, it's over? And he's not even telling us why he broke up with her. So we could assume that maybe he was using her to achieve what he's achieved. So pay back the money, bro.
Yeah, but Anonymous, actually, that's a fair point to raise. Anonymous, you're with someone for 5 years. They supported you throughout the 5 years when your business was struggling. And then when your business starts doing well, you break up with them. It's a bit sus, as the young ones would say. That's quite suspicious. Why? Why now when your business is doing well and then you're like, oh, it's over? Which is why I'm saying that's a fair point. Maybe you were using her. And I don't know. Based on what you're saying, it seems like it was a lovely, loving relationship. But just appreciate that there are other people that may look at it that way. Hey?
Morning, Clement. Morning to you and listeners. Anonymous, you need to pay back the money, my man. There's no way. There's just no way somebody could help you out of love. 20,000, 20. There's just no way, my guy. There's just no way. You need to pay back the money. Anyway, I think your relationship, Jay, to start with by asking a woman, Mosadi for Chelete, it was a problem there. Understand? It was a problem there. They needed to specify Yadima, and you must pay it back. Because as soon as you do that, my man, because I think it was based on that. The relationship was just based on the fact that she's able to lend you money, give you money. So the fair thing would be Patalantate.
Tato, you're in Rodeport. Good morning.
Hello, Clement. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I was just laughing because I'm not a young person anymore.
What, you used to do
during
that?
our days, you wouldn't get money from a woman. And again, during my days, women would never ask for money from men.
Oh, really?
Okay, just in short, this man is not being truthful. Anonymous has not been truthful. One, it doesn't mention why he broke up with this lady. I just want to. I don't want to concur what other people said. He is the problem. Just underline that he is the problem, and then he's also alleging that his business is doing well. If it's doing well, then why go to the media? Just pay the money. That's all.
I guess he just needs some advice, Tato. By the way, he did say that they have had some differences. You know, there are some too many differences lately, and that's why he decided to end the relationship. Yeah. Tau in Kempton Park. Hi.
Hi, good morning, sir.
Sure.
I'm worried about this man.
Mm-hmm.
It seems in a way he's thinking unfairly. He can't even ask for advices, man. When he was down, this lady was assisting him to pick him up. And right now, when he succeeds, he dumps the woman. What does that mean? No, he must just pay back. He must just pay back. So, simple as that.
So should he also return that printer and the phone she bought him?
Everything that he owes that woman, he must just pay back. Simple as that. The only thing perhaps he could do is to ask the woman whether she has records of how she helped him and remember, Clement, this man might be having another woman.
Yeah, we just don't know yet, you know, and I'm
Yes,
trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
That is why I'm saying he might.
Yeah. Ish.
Now and if that is the case, this current woman is going to enjoy the fruit of this other one.
Yeah, the investment of the first lady.
Exactly. I'm in a divorce case.
Yeah. Tau, thank you for calling us in Kempton Park. More of your calls and WhatsApps after the break.
What I love about this year's 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk is that it's taking people back into the Joburg CBD, and for people to be able to see the work that Josie My Josie has been doing, how they've been fixing up the city. I'm so excited for people to see that. You should take part in this year's Walk the Talk, because if you haven't been into the Joburg CBD in a long time because you're worried about safety, about crime, it's an incredible opportunity for you to go and see what's been happening in the Joburg CBD, what Josie My Josie has been doing, what the residents of Joburg have been doing. This year, I'm going to take part in the Walk the Talk because I can't wait to see the reaction of people when they go back to the Joburg CBD and to just feel that energy and feel the pulse of the city, and for people to return and for the city to be rejuvenated and for people to want to get involved in being part of that. To enter the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, go to primemediaplus.com. I'll see you on the streets.
When the people of Joburg unite for 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk on Sunday, the 26th of July, your safety is our priority. Working closely with the South African Police Service, the JMPD, private security teams, emergency services, city wardens, and other key stakeholders, there's a complete and comprehensive safety plan in place every step of the way. And there's a safe park and ride to the start at Ellis Park, thanks to Gautrain and Prasa. So come along and walk the iconic inner city with us by entering on primemediaplus.com now. The 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the city of Joburg. Walk with the people, for our Josie. Babize bonke, more on primemediaplus.com.
You are not dreaming. You are repeating. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
We needed cardboard, glue and tape for ancient history. But now we've built a pyramid with flashing LEDs. The dogs bore calls like Pharaoh and there's glitter on the floor. How did we end up here? Well, it's the crazy store.
That's crazy, crazy. That's the crazy store. Went in for one small thing, came out with so much more.
The crazy store. Hey, you never know what you might find.
The Sharing Space
on the Clement Manyathela Show.
702.
8 minutes before 12 o'clock, what was shared with us on the Sharing Space this morning is a story of Anonymous, who has been together with his partner for 5 years. He's decided to call things off, and the partner now wants all the money that she has helped him when his business was suffering. So for the 5 years, his business was not doing well, and this woman apparently paid up to 100,000 rand in different amounts, helping him stabilize, bought him a phone, bought him a printer, and his business is now doing well, and he's decided to end the relationship. So the lady says, pay back the money. And Anonymous wants to know, should I? Because his business is doing well. So maybe you should, Anonymous. But he's just concerned that the lady is just being petty because he's the one who called off the relationship. Let's go to more of your WhatsApps.
Good day, Clement. Do we still have money for goodness of her heart? No, we don't have that anymore. So if he wants to cut all ties completely with the lady, return the phone, return the printer, and pay back the money, then you'll be free. But there's no such thing, nothing for Mahala. Kabel Pretoria.
Hi, Clement. No, I know must just pay back the money. I know Seeley. Now that he has made it, he feels good. So there are things that are irreconcilable in their relationship all along. Him subsidizer with or funding the business or his ideas, the support. Those issues they cannot reconcile. Now that the business is booming, he must just pay back the money. He must just pay back the money. I got please. I got okay.
You know what's the problem here? The guy ended the relationship while that woman was still in love. So he won't find peace until he pays the money. And it will be very difficult, even if he pays the money, that woman will find ways just to provoke the guy.
Hi, Clement. The guy himself as well must make a list of all the lunch that he has bought for her, lingerie, the amount of petrol that he paid, the support that he gave her, everything, all that cost, and then she must just do the same so that they can actually see the difference between the two. How much is the difference if maybe someone has spent more and the other one has spent less, and then they must just pay off each other the difference. I too think that whole thing of wanting your things back is just childish and being bitter. They are not married. That no one is compelled to pay the other one like as though they're in some community of property or something. They should have made a cohabitation or whatever agreement before they fall in love.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Khotso. It's quite childish, honestly. And maybe this is a lesson for some of you who want to exchange monies with your partners. Maybe have an agreement, and if you want that money back, be clear that you want that money back. And if you're giving it out of the goodness of your heart because you're madly in love, you can't turn around when we're not together anymore and you want the money to be paid back. On what basis? Unless you've been clear it's a loan. But Anonymous, because your business is doing well now, just pay back the money and just have peace. Ulebogen on the WhatsApp line says, Clement, the only thing I want to say is, ladies, tlogelang go fa banna tšhelete. Meaning, ladies, stop giving men money. No, ladies, don't stop. More
Hey, good
WhatsApp.
morning, Clement, Tyron, Randling. I have a slightly different take on this. Everyone's saying pay back the money, and I understand that train of thought. But before you build a house, you count the costs. So every decision or every action has a reaction. So I'm sure this woman should have, she thought about this carefully. She obviously had the money to pay it. Now she wants it back because it didn't pan out the way she wanted, but she forgot that she has to count the costs. So there's another angle to this that everyone's missing. And so I also tend to agree with you with this.
Yeah, someone on the WhatsApp line says, yo, Clement, I just remembered my girlfriend owes me 300 Rand.
Ready to go?
No, can't.
Your mother raised you. She can look after him for one day.
But he's just your baby.
He's 7.
Just your baby.
I've packed his favorite toy and blanket.
Okay, just grab his Hills food.
Always.
We know that you only want the best for your small dog, which is why Hills has developed expert, science-backed nutrition to meet the unique needs of small dogs and help them live their best lives across their longer lifespans. Hills Pet Nutrition. Science does more.
In life's most challenging moments of loss, compassion can be your greatest comfort. You shouldn't have to face the financial burden of losing a loved one by yourself. Rest assured, Clientele's funeral plans pay out cash within 24 hours. You can cover up to 13 family members on one plan, ensuring all your loved ones are taken care of, and 3 children are covered at no additional cost. With Clientele, you're not just buying a plan, you're also buying peace of mind. When the time comes, you will need to make important calls with your 200 Rand airtime you will receive when you claim. Plans offer double accidental death cover, as well as transport, grocery, and unveiling benefits. Apply today. It's easy. There are no medical examinations and no paperwork. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
It's lunchtime and Mr. D has you covered. Open the app, pick your favorite meal, and enjoy free delivery between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. No restrictions, no hustle. Skip the line, stay at your desk, and let us bring lunch to you. Plus, every food order on the Mr. D app gives you a chance to win exciting prizes. Download the Mr. D app now and make lunchtime effortless.
Coming up
On the Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
Sure, Mandy.
Sure.
What's popping vandaag?
So March and March is having a briefing at 12 o'clock, so we'll try and take some of that live ahead of the 30th of June deadline. At the same time, the acting police minister, Feroz Kachalia, is meeting with CIRA, the private security industry. He quoted Sun Tzu saying, the supreme art of war is to defeat the enemy without fighting. I thought that was quite profound. So obviously they're trying to not get to the point where they need to
do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember with the July unrest, there was a lot of concern about private security and how some were using live ammunition. Remember in Durban what happened?
So now they've got a terms of agreement of like a contract between the two. So we'll try and find out more about that as well. The suspended EMPD chief Julius Mkhwanazi returned to the Madlanga Commission to respond to his ex-girlfriend's claims. The impeachment committee is meeting to agree on terms of reference, and the local government association SALGA is calling for urgent action on political killings.
That's the Midday Report. Up next after the news now at 12. Thank you for listening to the show today. Stay listening to 702 throughout the day. I'll be back with you tomorrow between 9 and 12. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Bye-bye.
This is EWN.
Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. The Madlanga Commission has established that the police clearance certificate of alleged crime boss Vusimuziket Matlala is fraudulent. That clearance certificate states that Matlala has no criminal record. The Commission is once again hearing testimony from suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Chief Julius Mkhwanazi today. This time the focus has shifted to Mkhwanazi's attempt in 2022 to secure EMPD peace officer status for Matlala Matlaala, as well as controversial businessman Mike van Wyk. Alpha Ramushwana reports. To secure EMPD peace officer status for Matlaala, as well as controversial businessman Mike van Wyk. Alpha Ramushwana reports.
The Matlaala Commission of Inquiry has been shown a document with a South African Police Service letterhead, which identified as Vusumuzi Matlaala's police clearance certificate. The certificate states that no previous criminal convictions had been recorded against Matlaala. Controversial businessman Mike van Wyk sent the document to EMPD cop Julius Mkhwanazi via WhatsApp as part of efforts to have Matlaala appointed as an EMPD peace officer. However, evidence leader Matlape Sello says it took little effort to establish that the document is fake.
Mr. Vusimus Matlaala has convictions for 2 offences of housebreaking and theft. That affidavit tells us that based on a number of factors, that document is fraudulent.
Mkhwanazi says the attempt to grant Matlaala EMPD peace officer status fell flat. Had the process been successful, Matlaala would have been given certain powers to assist with policing functions. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
The Johannesburg Roads Agency, responsible for maintaining roads, bridges and stormwater systems, has effectively been immobilized. This has left infrastructure maintenance in the city in limbo. It comes after fuel services to the JRA were suspended on Monday after the agency failed to submit an invoice to the city's treasury. That decision was initially understood to be linked to the city's severe cash flow constraints, but Transport MMC Kenny Kunene has described the failure to submit the invoice as dropping the ball.
We must identify who has dropped the ball because the residents of Johannesburg have been deprived of service delivery, which is my competency and my mandate to make sure that it happens.
Auditor General Tsakani Maluleke says most of the country's municipalities have submitted their financial statements on time, achieving a 98% rate for the first time. Despite this improvement, Maluleke still raised concerns about persistent disclaimer audit findings and poor infrastructure planning at some of the country's municipalities. Maluleke briefed Parliament's Cooperative Governance Committee on the national audit outcomes for the last financial year today. Babalondenze reports.
Tsakani Maluleke says the audit outcomes for the financial year ending in June 2025 demonstrated an improvement in terms of timely audit submissions. But she says the improvement has been limited as municipalities continue to struggle in other areas. She said only 2 municipalities have not submitted compared to 10 in the previous year.
This year, for the very first time, we've had a very high level of timely submissions of financial statements for us to audit. We actually reached a milestone of 98% timely submissions of municipalities across the country.
But Maluleke says in terms of the outcomes, some provinces still fail to record even one clean audit.
The Free State, together with the Northwest, still hold the record for not having any clean audits.
Maluleke says the Western Cape remains the one province where there's a concentration of clean audits, with 21 out of the 39 clean audits coming from the province. Babalondenze, Eyewitness News.
Western Cape Premier Alan Winde says the province is moving into a more stabilized recovery phase following the recent storms. Winde says 98% of communities that were left without power have now been reconnected. The severe weather destroyed people's homes, forced schools to close, and left at least 11 people dead. Carlo Peterson reports.
Western Cape Premier Alan Winde has warned that full repairs will take time, with key routes like the Swartberg Pass still closed for safety reasons and the cost of rebuilding Meyringspoort estimated at more than 420 million rand. The Premier's spokesperson Regan Thor says recovery remains a complex and long-term process.
Recovery from a disaster of this scale can't be achieved overnight. It requires extensive engineering expertise, procurement processes, as well as environmental impact approvals, and most importantly, receiving adequate funding.
Winde says the focus is on improving communication with affected communities and rebuilding infrastructure to withstand extreme weather in future. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And temperatures have climbed across Europe again today as a record-breaking heatwave left tens of thousands of people without power in France. Experts say the extreme weather is being driven by atmospheric patterns that keep hot, wet trapped in place for days, with these factors worsened by global warming. Temperatures in France today are expected to reach highs of between 39 and 41 degrees. The heatwave caused the country's first major power outage of the latest bout of extreme weather after a heat-related incident with a transformer left around 68,000 households without electricity. While gold is trading at $4,076.81 an ounce, the rand is at 16.63 to the dollar, 21.91 to the pound, 18.87 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $76.41 a barrel.
Well, at this stage in Boksburg, roadworks slowing down traffic. This is on the N17 westbound between Rondebolt and Osborne, leaving Leondale heading towards